And we're rolling.
Moto podcast.
Got him.
Swirl this around here.
Tonight's podcast brought to you by COVID-19.
Yes.
Just what you need when you've got a population problem.
Keeping everybody busy for 200 years.
That's exactly it. And you know, the update is being like, oh, well, we're 45 days, this will all blow over. We just head to the Winchester and wait for this all to blow over. Boop. And now they're saying that, give me a year and a half.
Head to Porco's and wait for it.
Right, head to Porco and wait for it all to blow over.
That was my opinion.
So much
It's like,
for Cedar Point stock.
Oh, yeah.
I'm serious.
Hey, I bought my season ticket last year.
Me
I paid
too.
only $100 for it. So
That's why. Gonna go?
Right. They knew. Oh, Cedar Point was in on the game.
Well, it's fine if they only let 99 people in at a time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, no, wait. You got to figure out how many.
79.
79, because he has probably about 20 employees.
Yeah.
I figure if you keep your blood alcohol level at about a 2.1, no virus is going to survive
That's true.
your body.
Alcohol kill everything.
It's one of those things. You're like, okay, well, as you are older, you have a bit of a higher risk profile, right? And obviously exposure and stuff. And somebody's like, well, what about Steve? What about Hoffert? And it was like,
Coronavirus hates low pH.
Walks in shit every single day.
Right.
So no, coronavirus not going to take him. No, you're safe. You're cool. Yeah,
It's not even going to try.
Yeah, not even going to try.
You better. You're jinxing me here, buddy.
Corona's going to Corona's going to show up in his system. E. coli is going to kick the living hell out of it. Corona's going to leave with his bags packed.
Corona
will go in there.
Corona will be in quarantine for 14 days after meeting Steve.
Oh, boy.
Steve's body's like one of those Scandinavian cough drop commercials. E. coli. And on my left, back from a world tour. Hey.
Oscar?
And against all advice, traveled to
Las Vegas.
Lost Wages.
Yep,
right?
Las Wages, Nevada.
But what were you doing in Las Vegas?
The Heat Seized Scooter Rally.
And by the way, Heat Seized
That's
is the name of the club.
That's the name of the club.
Right? So the Heat Seized, and if you couldn't tell, it's two strokes, babe.
And it's, High Rollers is the name of the event.
Yeah, and how many?
High Rollers Weekend.
What do we think that was? Is that like the 25th Rollers?
Oh,
It's getting to be up in age. They've been doing high rollers for a long time.
I can't remember if it was the 20th or above 20.
Yeah, exactly.
So, they're getting up there.
Well, it's over 21 now. It's legal.
Yeah, especially in Vegas.
To his left.
Cam Vanderhorst?
Hey, anything special for you tonight, Cam?
No, just drinking your natter days again.
Again, another Hanukkah miracle. We still have natter days.
A lot of us, actually.
Yeah, I was surprised. We'd taken the John McElfresh Memorial Mini Fridge, and we'd filled up the magazine track with natter days.
Right.
And so when we finally, last week, there was like 1 or 2 natter days left in there, and I was like, well, it's the end of an era. Then I opened up the crisper in the actual shop refrigerator, and there's 20 more freaking natter days in there. So here we are, guys.
So, Cam, how's the fever and coughing going? Is you a little bit better from that?
Doing all right, yeah.
Okay.
No, what I did is virus. He has Corvette virus, not coronavirus.
Corvette.
I got Corvette owner virus. I actually bought my first Corvette T-shirt today. Because they have, for some reason in AutoZone, they have the little kiosk where they sell T-shirts.
Wait a second. You bought a T-shirt at AutoZone?
He's too far gone.
Wow.
Because it was $8 and it looked really comfortable.
I have never bought a clothing item at an auto parts store.
Wait.
That's kind of what I thought. And
Do they have Corvette do-rags? Because you would totally rock that shit, right?
no.
No, but you know what? You know what you're going to turn into? You're going to turn into the inappropriate guy who wears Corvette gear to funerals and things.
The guy who shows up and he's totally dressed for the funeral, but he's got that satin shiny Corvette jacket.
Yeah.
He's embroidering on the back.
So
Looking good.
I have buddies that have, besides McElfresh, obviously, that have C4s, and we've all been shopping to try to get matching awful satin jackets.
Oh my god!
From eBay,
Yeah.
but with in the colors that match ours. So I got to get a yellow one, and my buddy Zeppy has to get a silver one, and Cal's got to get a white one. But the problem is that hipsters decided that ugly satin jackets are the cool thing to have.
Yeah.
So did you apparently.
I've never liked anything that was cool.
Well, apparently,
Right? I don't like things that are cool anymore.
Wow.
How many brown seat motorcycles do you own?
Oh.
Does the Vespa count?
The Vespa counts.
The Vespa
it's got a
tail
brown seat. Yeah, it's true. But it's not. It's one of those things where it's one of those things where it's not a Dime City brown seat.
Right, it's
a
factory.
Factory brown seat. Yeah. exactly. Some Italian guy decided the brown seat looked better. And, we went, you're right.
Yeah.
It really does with the red.
It does look
the dragon
better.
red looks amazing.
Not kidding.
Well, factory brown seats are exempt from the brown seat rule.
Oh, yeah.
So,
right.
you're okay with that.
I've
That's
never
true.
ordered anything from Dime City Cycles.
Yeah, I mean, not saying that there's anything bad about Dime City Cycles. It's just that usually when we have a project bike that comes in here that's been pre-fucked,
Dimed
it
out.
comes
Dime
in
City
with a box of Dime City Cycles parts,
It's like I see people like really cheaping out on like Sportster builds with
Yeah.
like Dime City Cycles parts,
Sure.
and I don't necessarily understand because factory Sportster parts
Or free.
are free.
They're free. Yeah, because
They
they've
don't
been taken
cost-
off of every other sport.
No, I'm saying even buying them brand new.
Yeah, that's true.
Like-
no, they are cheap.
Especially tins where you're getting a blank, non-painted, non-primered tin
Yeah.
for twice as much as you could get a painted one. And the difference is the back flare
Yeah.
is a quarter millimeter or something.
It is. And you're right. Harley Davidson Sportster parts are crazy cheap. And there is that's a funny thing that we would think that as a consumer of motorcycle parts, you're like, oh, but I'm going to get this one over here on this website that delivers to my door in 5 days.
Right.
And,
Free
and
COVID-19 right in the box.
COVID-19 right in the box. Just don't pop the bubble wrap, baby. And to his left,
Steve Hoffert.
Steve, how you doing? Yeah. I noticed that you said you would stop drinking until Sleepy said that he'd made painkillers. And then all of a sudden you're
can't.
like, well,
It was just a
Well, he
painkiller.
asked first to see if there's any fruit on it. I was like, well, yeah, pineapple's like, I can't drink that. What is it? It's a painkiller. Oh, I can totally drink that. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm not
There's
drinking
many fruity
alcohol.
drinks I like.
Yeah,
but
I'm
I
not
do like
drinking alcohol.
painkillers.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, you're not drinking alcohol, but it's a painkiller.
But see,
Okay, I'm drinking alcohol. All right, I'm not drinking fruity drinks, but there's pineapple in it.
I can't drink it.
I can't try. I'm getting fruity drinks, but it's a painkiller. So it's like it went through 3 levels of
Fine, I'll
filtering.
drink
yeah,
it.
but see, now I'm going to start really drinking. And then I'm going to be that sloppy piece of shit that I was.
And that's what everybody loves.
Yeah, everybody loves.
I'm sorry. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Grumpy Sewer Guy.
Was that what the that one listener called him? Was Grumpy Sewer
Grumpy
Guy?
Sewer
And now 1,000 people call him
Yeah,
Grumpy Sewer Guy.
everybody does.
Every time I get an email or every time I get a message,
GSG.
it's GSG.
What happens to the
It's Grumpy
GSG?
Sewer Guy.
It's the greatest nickname
Yeah,
anybody
it is
could ask
pretty
for.
perfect.
Yeah, own it,
grumpy.
own it.
He's not grumpy.
Damn it, I'm not
Sometimes you are.
grumpy. Fuck.
He's a disenfranchised sewer guy.
we're doing a huge project at work.
Oh.
And the contractor messed up this one whole thing. So
Yeah.
he spent all day today chiseling out concrete. And so I have to watch all this stuff. I have to make sure everything's right.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the plans. The guy tells me I'm going to do this. I'm like,
Where were you the
"Okay."
first time?
I was there, and he told me
Yeah.
I'm going to chisel this out and put the
Right.
gate in. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I get there, the gate's like 10 feet in the air.
Oops.
I mean, you
You
need a
drive a
ladder
car
to get
under
to
it?
it. Yeah, you need a ladder to get to it. I'm like, what did you do? And he's like,
Ain't no
I
monster
figured it
trucks
would
getting
work
in here.
like that. I'm like, it's not
Plans
going
were
to work like
upside
that.
down.
You're going to have to you're going to spend another day chiseling out all the concrete and whatever. So,
Yeah.
but I'm doing the project all myself.
Right.
And I mean, I did the pretty much instead of hiring an engineer.
Yeah.
I did all the work. And I
Yeah.
had the manufacturer give me drawings because that's all engineers do.
Yeah.
They go to the
They requisition the
manufacturer and
drawings,
they so
Right.
so I'm saving the city my entire salary for a year.
Good. Then they can pay you twice.
No, they should give. I mean, if I work for a private company, I
Yeah.
get a bonus.
They should
You
buy you
absolutely would.
booze.
But I mean, that's the hazard. I mean, people think city workers
Tequila.
are like a
No,
piles
brown
of
stuff.
crap.
Right,
So
exactly.
you know what? I save a ton of
Right.
money.
Yeah.
And if I work for a private company like I used to,
Right. You'd get a bonus.
they give me like a $25,000 bonus.
Hell yeah, they would.
So you're not Grumpy Sewer Guy. You're like exasperated Sewer Guy.
No, I don't care.
You're like sick of this shit Sewer.
I love that. You're exasperated suitor guy. I don't care.
Yep.
That's about
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
point in case
Point in case.
or case in point.
Right.
Sorry.
You're just
case
so
in
indecisive. I don't know.
How many painkillers have you had?
point. I need,
none of my business.
I need some more alcohol now.
All right,
There we go.
There you go.
Oh, he's opened the bell.
Refill.
Right. And we have
He's
many.
opened that
So-
10-foot gate.
So, Steve, in case you haven't been updated, so we have the mini fridge that's over here by the Road Burners video game. So we got the mini fridge, which is supposed to contain all the alcohol. And then we have the real fridge in the shop where the alcohol seems to end up anyway. So,
Okay.
yeah, if you look in that
I
first
want it
place.
to end up in my stomach, but
Right,
I mean,
exactly. Yeah, and there's still
Thank
plenty
you.
of booze on top of the fridge. So,
okay, so this is a good story. It's short.
Well, we'll decide that.
Side Quest,
Side
which
Quest.
is my second favorite bar.
right, because it's a table games bar.
Right, it's excellent, and it's
Yeah.
like nobody. you can't go in there and be rejected because they accept everybody. I mean, hell,
The bar is called Side Quest.
the bar-
better give some of that to Chris.
the bartender wears a dress. So I
That's
mean,
enough.
so anyway, the one person that I know that makes me painkillers there, and they make painkillers there, and they're very, very good painkillers.
Get the shit out of here.
Is if pineapple touches or coconut touches her skin,
Right.
she goes into anaphylactic shock.
Really? And she's making painkillers.
So when
That
she
she
makes-
doesn't.
So when she makes it, she has to. She's like,
has
"You
to
want a
glove up?
painkiller?" She's like, "You want a painkiller?" And everybody, as soon as I walk in there, you're like, "You want a painkiller?" I'm
Does
like,
she put
"Yeah."
on her painkiller gauntlet?
Yeah, she puts on these
Like one of
these
those like cow
gloves. Yeah.
insemination gloves that goes up to her elbow?
And she makes me the drink with these gloves on. I'm like,
Wow.
I don't want to kill you. I don't
Right.
want my drink to kill you.
Well, and if she's
I want it to kill me.
Slowly.
Like it did last week.
Yeah.
we don't call this a painkiller, we call this a Wayne killer. Because James' brother Wayne,
Yeah.
when we were at band camp,
yeah.
Porco rolls up and Porco is representing at band camp. So they made 96 gallons of painkillers. And so if you could stand up and you could walk up to the bar, they handed you a painkiller, and all you had to do was walk to the back of the line again. Right? And again, go figure. And my bus got stuck in the mud, as it was wont to do. And so everybody felt bad for me. So they were saying, "Oh, well, I'll have my painkiller, but let me get one for Phil. He's in a bad way over there." And so I was trying to deal with getting a bus extracted. And so somebody walks up, "Hey, Phil, painkiller." And I'm like, "Well, fuck, that was great. I didn't have to walk." Did that 5 or 6 times. And then Wayne came over, and Wayne is the living embodiment of a Marine. He is what you get.
He's Chet from Weird Science.
Check from Weird Science. Only an asshole would have that haircut. But Wayne is Wayne, and Wayne has a heart as big as this building, but he's also a Marine. And Wayne came over, and Wayne's like, "Get back in there." And I'm like, "I know what you're going to try to do. It's a 13-ton bus. It's 9 inches deep in the mud.
And he's going to lift it out.
And he's going to push it." And I'm like, But he's had 7 Wayne killers. So I can't at this point say no to his help. Or he might actually kill me.
Right.
So I have to let him help until he's covered in mud. And then when he's finally covered in mud, and I'm like, well, you know what? Nobody can say you didn't try.
Right.
And I love you, man. Give me a hug.
Stuck.
Has he recovered from his hernia yet?
What's that?
Has he recovered from his hernia yet from
I'm
pushing
sure.
a 13-ton bus in the mud?
It was pretty good. And to your left,
Where are we at? Oh, is it me?
you.
Nick DeVito.
Now, Nick has a bit of a story. Because the last time I saw photos, are we admitting that the Fiat 850 is a carcass at this point? Where are we at in the
Wait,
Fiat project?
What did you see?
Because I think the last photo I saw was that you had something that you were
Running,
ready
right?
to commit. There's one that's running.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the 124 Spider is running.
Is running.
And it's getting there.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
But that's saying a lot, considering how it
Yeah.
started.
Right.
Which is amazing.
The 850
The 850.
was chopped up a long time ago.
the 850.
I've never seen the 850 in one piece.
Yeah.
The 850 was already Fiat McNuggets, but
It's-
I never saw it.
You're the only. In fact, Phil is the only one here who has seen the 850.
Yes. Yeah, I saw the 850 in situ. I
I
saw
love
the 850.
Yeah.
I saw the 850 when it was like, God, those wheels make that car look great.
Oh, it had my Fiat 500, my modern 500 summer tires.
Yes, and I went
Because the
back,
wheel bolt pattern's the same.
the
and
same.
I needed something to make it roll.
and I went back. I looked at there, and I was like, that is the best example ever of if you've got just a disaster of a car, spend $500 on wheels.
Yep.
Right.
Because I looked at it, I was like, doesn't look like it's too far off. And then I looked at it, and then when I looked at it for real, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, the 850's gone. I made back way more money than I spent on it, so I'm
Yeah.
happy. And I like $17 of that went into actually scrapping it. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I was able to take it all in like
Yeah.
2 loads in Honda CRV.
That doesn't sound good.
I
Nick.
love how the fact that a CRV
Yeah.
totaled out the Fiat 850.
Yep.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
cool.
didn't you say you had a guy come and get the engine and he drove from a
guy,
long ways
a guy
away?
came from I want to say like West Virginia, not that long.
Yeah, but still.
West Virginia,
Right.
picked up the, and I sold it for like $100. The
Oh, so you
engine.
parted it out?
Yeah, I parted it out.
Nice.
I probably made about $2,000 on that.
God, that's amazing.
When
Nice.
we first started, like when I first started hanging out at your place,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to
You
say
had-
dating.
Yeah, I know.
Mandating.
when you had like the Fiat was all chopped up, you had I think both Vespas were still in the garage.
Yeah.
And this
It was
saucy
a
pair of
mess.
pants.
And I'm
that
like,
fit
wow, I'm
through.
amazed that Nick gets so much done in this tiny little garage. And then we came over that day, I was working on the knuckle for the Jetta.
Yep.
And we cleaned it up and swept it out. And I'm like, wow, this garage is huge. You could fit so much more crap in here.
At one point, I
There's
had
the only two states of garage is this garage is too tiny to get anything done in, and then you clean all the shit out of it, and you're like, wow, I could
It's
fit so much
huge,
more
right?
crap in here.
Easy, McMurray.
That's what she said.
Well, there was one point where I actually had it's a 2-car garage. And I have a giant freaking South Bend lathe in
I'd say
there.
2.5 cars.
And I have
How
a
wide's
workbench
look,
and
how wide's the door?
How big's
It's
the
a 2-car
swing?
garage.
How
Right.
big's the swing on that lathe?
it's a 9-inch lathe.
Oh, nice.
That measure from the top or measure from the bottom? Did you measure that from the top or measure from the bottom? I found out you got to measure from the bottom. Measure from the bottom. Get an extra inch and a half.
Oh my god!
Has to be from the bottom.
There was a
I'm gonna at
point.
the base of the spine.
There was a point where I had 2 Fiats, which admittedly is not 2 full-size cars, but I had 2 Fiats, 2 Vespas, 2 motorcycles, a moped, 2 mini bikes, a blast cabinet, a lathe, and a workbench, and a snowblower in that garage,
And a snowmobile powered
and a
bike.
snowmobile engine.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
right.
the engine.
That's
yeah.
right. I
So
remember that.
I got rid of a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, you
but,
did. Holy
but,
shit.
But Fiat 124 Spiders gonna be on the road maybe in a couple months.
Yeah.
And I am so freaking pumped about the RV90 Trailhopper
I know.
because
Yeah.
it's almost ready.
It's
I
looking
think,
fierce.
I think next time I come to a podcast, I'm coming with that Trailhopper.
Well, but you are going to
wanted
have
to
to wear asbestos, long johns.
It's
Oh,
got
yeah.
that expand. I got the expansion chamber
Yeah.
from an RM 100 or something
Right.
like that, and I sort of made it work. And it's very close to your.
I
legs,
don't see that
but-
there's any way you could actually sit on that bike
Without
Yeah.
burning your
and
fucking-
and not be an interference fit with something that will be at 912 degrees.
You just have to be careful.
So bad.
you know, you
That's
can
not
just
Johnny Chrome's RV, is it?
no,
No.
it's not. Johnny Chrome's still, his RV still exists, but that was a project RV. he
Yeah,
got.
the problem with the
Yeah.
Trailhopper was that it wouldn't start without using the choke, but I didn't have a choke cable. So I bought a choke cable, and
Right.
it just happened to have an RV90 engine attached
hooked to it.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, it looks about the same. Maybe it'll fit.
I can take the choke cable off, or
Right.
Put the whole motor
Is there
in.
any way we could put any sort of like we could weld up some kind of
Oh, the guard for
like a
the-
leg shield or something, like adapt
pipe?
an old.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
Honda
say a barbecue
CL,
grill.
like a CL 100.
take all that extra heat.
or was
I
it
don't
the? Is it the
Cook
CL
meat with it.
Scrambler?
Seals
Yeah,
Scrambler.
so I think like a CL 100 exhaust heat shield.
Yeah, that
be
might
able
work.
to adapt.
We'll
At
see.
least it'll look like it won't burn you.
Right. Then you'll
that's
have
half the
something to
battle.
melt your clothing to,
I was-
not be
yes,
the
yeah,
exhaust.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely true. What you need is you need 4 hose clamps. And you need 6 coffee cans. What you need there is air gap. Air gap is your friend. Yeah, and
I
if
might
you do
have
that,
a
it'll be
heat
fine.
shield for you.
Yeah.
I'll see. I have
You know
a couple
what?
Pipes in my backyard.
Do you know what I've got? I've got a roll of asbestos in my house. And I think it's from
Oh,
the
shit.
40s. And it's about 15, 20 feet of asbestos
How thick is
wrap.
it?
Oh, it's thick. Yeah, it's got to be a quarter of an inch.
Yeah.
So you give a couple of turns of asbestos
That might do
on
it.
there. And yeah, my grandfather swore by it right until he got his tracheostomy. It was great. Hey, you kids, stay away from that asbestos. Yeah, it's cool.
Did you ever see the old like 1900 things of the people like in the asbestos mills, just like taking bales of it and throwing it into the fucking reaper?
Yeah, rolling their tobacco in it and being
Yeah.
like, look, I can smoke this fucker 26 times.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
What
'cause-
a buzz.
What a buzz.
it's so crazy,
It's like
man.
the what was it? It's like the pictures of the girls with the radioactive painting the wall.
Oh yeah, and licking
Yeah,
their
licking the
licking
thing,
it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
jaws are
man.
falling off.
Yeah. Oh man.
Because
Pointing the
science.
But those Tag Heuris had
You know what?
fucking
Fuck
awesome
OSHA.
hands.
OSHA's full of shit. OSHA's bullshit.
Yeah, but the
Yeah, but
Marines
what are you
could see
gonna
their
find out
tags
now?
in the fucking
I know,
dark,
yeah,
dude.
right,
It's
it's
fucking
exactly
cool.
it.
That's right.
So it's 5G.
Yeah. I mean, 5G's going to fry everybody.
Did you hear that there's a whole
You'll be dead
theory?
from Corona long before that.
Well, no, there's a whole theory right now that Corona doesn't exist. It's actually the enrollment of 5G. And so China,
my God.
Wuhan, China was the first
Here's the
rollout of 5G. And then now we're experiencing the rollout of 5G.
That is the best explanation I've
So
heard.
5G was actually engineered to
Take out the old.
Yeah, I was going to say to soften the responsibility of the
Just to
Social
fuck our
Security
peoples
system.
up.
We need to deplete
Right.
the Earth by about 25%.
I believe it was called Logan's Run.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how we did that. Oh, Johnny McElfresh.
I saw some article today
Yeah.
that people are getting upset because I guess Gen Z is referring to the coronavirus as the boomer remover.
And
still pull
that's
that
not
shit
bad. That's not wrong.
Are you guys recording?
We are recording. What did you think we'd be doing?
Adam,
What's in the bag, buddy?
You showed up so fucking late.
what's in the bag?
We'll do that. Less corona.
Yeah, what's in the bag?
that way?
I just
Well, there you go.
Oh,
hey, look at that.
Man.
sit up next to these
Look at
guys
that,
and
look
get
at
in the
that.
middle.
Can I move this mic just a little bit away?
You can move it however you want to move it. It's just as long as you talk
I'll
into
let
it.
you-
Right. The mic can go
Yeah,
wherever
go
it
ahead.
wants to go, as long as you go with it.
Well, you get to share.
You should share. You can share,
McElfresh
Mike.
this week.
Oh, and to
This
the
is tease.
and to the left of
Where are we
Nick
at?
DeVito.
Oh,
Nick
Chris
Divitto.
Smith.
And Chris, what you got this week? Anything fun or
joke.
exciting? You got a joke? I love Chris
no.
Smith jokes.
Oh no!
I honestly love Chris
It's like
Smith
the
jokes.
creepy dad joke.
I love. You know what?
Well, you'll have to tell me
And you know
the
what?
creepy dad joke.
It's
Let's
so
see.
good that I look forward to this. Okay, go ahead.
A man gets on a bus
He's
and
reading
ends
it.
up sitting next to a very attractive nun. Enamored with her, he asks if he can have sex with her. Naturally, she says no and gets off the bus. The man goes to the bus driver and asks if he knows for a way for him to have sex with the nun. Well, says the bus driver, every night at 8 o'clock she goes to the cemetery to pray. If you dress up as God, I'm sure you could convince her to have sex with you. The man decides to try it and dresses in his best God costume. At 8, he sees the nun and appears before her. Oh God, she exclaims, take me with you. The man tells the nun that she must first have sex with him to prove her loyalty. The nun says yes, but she prefers anal sex. Before you know it, they're getting down to it, having nasty, grunty, loud sex. After it's over, the man pulls off his God costume disguise and says, "Ha! I'm the man from the bus." "Ha ha," says the nun, removing her costume. "I'm the bus driver." That's not bad, baby.
That's really good.
That ain't no fucking dad joke.
No, and demonetized.
Funny people.
Thanks.
Demonetized. Get over here, John.
I was so happy when you started telling that
Jesus
joke because I
Christ.
heard that joke in the 7th grade, and all through the rest of my school days,
Right.
I'm the bus driver as
Oh.
a greeting between me and a
I'm
group
the bus
of
driver.
10 other dudes.
That's not good.
Ours was nearly killed him. So
I'm the bus driver.
And well, to his left is
and
me.
his left. Yeah.
Wait, I'm not done. I got 7 more jokes.
23 minutes in, we haven't even done the intros yet.
No, but I also have a joke. It's a coronavirus joke.
Okay.
Oh boy.
You guys probably won't get it.
Stupid Facebook.
we'll see.
And your humble narrator, Phil Waters. My story is that just yesterday, I had to do something that we don't normally do, according to the CDC, and that is I put my mom in a retirement home.
Oh.
Not a retirement home, a rehab facility. My mom fell down a couple of days ago, broke her pelvis. Nothing to laugh about. You lay on the ground. You're 77 years old. You're laying on the ground. You're crying for help. The dogs are freaking out, and you got a broken pelvis. That is the definition of a bad day.
She's
And then
got bad bones though too, right?
she's a
I mean,
mess.
Yeah.
My mom is 77 years old, been on all of the things, cortisone her whole life, steroids for everything. Heavy woman, her whole life, the term they use is morbidly obese, and just the sweetest woman, that anyone's ever met, and still has 100% of her brain, and she's delightful, but her body has failed her in many ways. So she's got, they've done a shoulder replacement surgery where they've put it the other way and they made the ball into the socket and the socket into the ball, because they've tried the other ways, have all fallen apart.
I didn't know that existed.
Dude, if you, when you were like, oh, my hip surgery is a big deal, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah okay.
Yeah, right.
I got a 77-year-old woman who's going to be like, you're adorable. Yeah, because she breaks bones when she gets out of chairs.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, yet she soldiers on. And So we had no choice when she broke her pelvis. She has to go into an assisted living facility. Mm-hmm. That's just where she is right now. And of course, we know from watching the news that assisted living facilities are extremely touchy.
Yeah, right.
And this is what happens. Hey, Mom, I'm going to let you know we have to put you in assisted living, which she's been in those before. But she wanted to go the one that was close to her house, which was a 1-star rating, which I didn't even know that existed. Yeah. It was a 1-star.
It's called Bergen-Belsen.
Apparently, it was called. It was Auschwitz or Mauschwitz or something. I couldn't remember it exactly. Cardinal Woods.
Demonetized.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we found a nice 5-star for her that was like where she should be, and there's rules about what her health care will pay for and stuff for how long. So we want to be taken care of well. But it turns out in our state, once somebody goes in, grandmas check in, but they don't check out. The rule is that they are allowed 0 visitors.
Currently, yeah.
Currently.
That's true.
No visitors.
Yeah.
So I told Mom, I was like, remember when you sent me away to basic training? It's a lot like that. You still love the person, you want the best for them, but somebody else is providing their meals, somebody else is providing their physical therapy. Yeah. And you're not allowed visitors. Yeah. So it's just like basic training.
What they're saying they're doing.
And you know what? That's the thing is you put them into a good place and you hope that they do what they say they do. The place we went was extraordinarily high rated. So we know has the best hopes.
Don't forget to tip folks.
Oh, exactly. Well, here we go. Check this out. This is when you know that you're in a strange world, a strange situation. Because I get this message hey, we were just FaceTiming with her and she seems upset. Someone gave away her dinner and then they brought in another dinner that was just salmon with nothing else in it. And she said she wasn't happy because she doesn't like salmon and should we give a call up there? And it gets passed around to the little group, my brother and sister and my wife. And she's like, yeah, let's call her and check her. And I was like, no, she just has to stab the toughest person in there, and then she'll get all the respect she needs and maybe an extra Jell-O. And so, yeah, I'm going to make sure my mom shanks a bitch.
Take her an extra toothbrush.
Yeah, take her an extra toothbrush, sharpen it up. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
When my grandfather passed away recently and my uncle was going to clean out the assisted living facility, all the other little old ladies were like going by. Like my grandmother passed away, I think, about 3 years before he did.
Okay, yeah.
Apparently, unbeknownst to anybody, my grandpa was the Mac Daddy.
Oh, really?
But he friend-zoned every little old lady in there.
Oh, was he using their eBay accounts?
No, like he should have been.
But I heard that old people get it on.
A lot, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I guess those places are like
banging
sex camps.
This is what you want to hear.
There's more STIs or
Honestly,
STDs getting transferred in the old people houses.
That's the way to go.
Really?
Because they know they can't get pregnant, so they're not worried about wrapping it. And they're just spreading this shit like fucking wildfire.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there was my grandpa was 95. There was an 83-year-old woman that was like, yeah, I was trying to snag him, but he wasn't having any of it.
He wasn't having any of it. Were you playing fucking hard to get? You're nearly 100 years old, for fuck's sake.
Okay, I called him. The last time I talked to him was on Christmas Day.
So Cam dropped in on her.
Gotta get me some of that.
All right, I'm helping out Grandpa.
Family. All right. Doing it for my grandpa.
It's a little bit chunky.
So.
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry.
Are you talking about this?
No,
That's non-monetized.
Are you talking about Cam's grandfather?
That was an awful thing to say.
Yeah, it was
at
a really
that time.
bad
I'm
time.
sorry.
Perfect
I'm
time.
really sorry.
Because when I was,
That's awful.
Go, chunky boy.
I don't think it's going to be chunky. If I make it to 95, it's not going to be chunky. It's just going to be
dust.
Powder.
You'll be a poofter.
Oh my God.
Here, give me some of that.
But yeah, apparently him and my grandmother were like
That's good.
king and queen of Mardi Gras. This was in New Orleans, was his facility. They were king and queen of Mardi Gras the one year, and every year they kept trying to get him to be king of Mardi Gras after she passed, and he was not having it.
Yeah.
He was like he was friend zoning every
Fuck them bitches,
every 80-year-old. Yeah. He was like, "Be gone, thought."
Exactly.
Viagra for the dick, but there's nothing for your back.
I want to be just like my grandpa. I want to be like really strong.
Yeah.
I want to die like 2 weeks before like a really major pandemic, and I want to be thought patrolling well into my 90s.
There you go. Yeah,
and I think those are my 3 goals in life.
Now that we made the rounds, news, folks, news.
Can I suggest one thing?
Go right ahead.
I think we should do a century podcast.
A Century
By that you
podcast?
mean
100 of what?
If you watch Letterkenny.
Oh, okay. Oh,
We
yeah,
should
yeah.
do-
That's
we
100
should do-
shots of beer
Yeah.
in 1 hour.
In 1 hour, but we should do it
or 100 minutes.
during the 100 shots
Fuck,
of beer
dude.
during the podcast.
So
hours.
Or what's the thing with you have the 3 wise men?
The 3 wise men.
Or the 4 something and then the 5 whatever.
The 3 wise men was the Scotch,
Yep.
Irish,
Yep.
and American bourbon
Right.
at midnight.
Right.
But that's after swilling all night long.
But no, but then there's the something and the something. So there's 4.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But I can tell you for goddamn sure, the Century was on the summer solstice. You drink 100 shots of beer in 100 minutes.
Yeah, 100 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is not. It's 8 beers.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Not the way I pour a shot.
Well, yeah, no, you have to go by shots, like
Yeah.
2-ounce shots or 1 point whatever.
Well, 102 ounces is 200 ounces, and 200 ounces is 16 beers in 1 hour.
Do you spread that
Yeah.
among
Yeah.
all the podcasters? Or
Yeah,
everybody
exactly.
Have to do it.
Right.
We
yeah.
can do it with the podcasters.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, spread it
Would
out.
would that be 100 individually?
No.
or
I feel like
spread
that's an
across the group?
ideal
That's
activity for vintage
individually.
days.
Individually.
We're gonna
Oh my
be-
God.
That's
Yeah.
when we go live.
Ounces
We
of
do a
beer
live
and-
podcast for the Century podcast.
No thanks.
Okay. All right.
And we do it live on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There aren't enough bathrooms here.
No, no, the rule is you can't puke and you can't pee.
Oh my god.
No, if you can't pee, I'm out.
Can we get a connection at Mid Ohio and do it
See,
live at
Steve.
Mid Ohio?
So just
No,
so
you're
you
out
know,
if you're
just,
out if you
just
have to
if we're going to
pee
do it,
or puke.
okay. If you're going to do it right, I've just done the math, so we can say that the rules according to Hoyle,
Yeah.
is in 100 minutes, right?
Right.
1 shot per minute,
Right.
100 shots. A shot is 1.5 fluid ounces.
That's what I was thinking.
If you run a conservative pour,
Right.
okay, that's 12.5
Beers.
industry league beers
Right.
in 100 minutes.
Right. Which is an hour and 40 minutes.
Yes.
Right.
So if you can drink 12 and a half beers,
A 12-pack.
if you can drink a 12 pack
in an hour?
in an hour and a half,
But can we?
and
can we
I'm just
let's
gonna
clarify though. They're drinking Puppers, which is a 4% beer. So a 4% beer is water.
say, after Mrs. McMurray,
Right.
I'm drinking gin and tonics all afternoon,
Right.
pre-gaming,
Right.
little Facebook action.
I'm just saying, 12 4% beers is doable compared to 6 or 8 9%.
And I'm just saying, I don't think my bladder can take it.
Yeah, also
No,
true.
and
You're allowed
You're
to
allowed
squirt.
to pee.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
No, you're allowed to squirt. You're not allowed to spit.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
No spit
Okay.
and squirt
Yeah.
and
You gotta
fuck.
swallow.
Easy.
All right,
Yeah,
back in.
there you go.
Yeah.
But guy, too much letter, Kenny. For fuck's sake.
I was
Get
gonna
back
say,
in.
Yeah.
Learn the rules there, Hoss.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But I want Bonnie McMurray to pour.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, yeah. Well, we all do.
Am I allowed to use a funnel?
Am I allowed to keister any of them?
Wait, and to all of our lefts that's late is
Yeah. Showing up late for the podcast.
Hail Caesar.
Johnny Mac.
Yeah. My mother-in-law's in the hospital. So
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
doing
There's a lot of that going around. Just don't get her in a nursing home.
Nope.
unless you want more brothers.
Exactly. Apparently, my mom's got looking forward to a lot of action with her broken pelvis. That's great.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's the thing that you
Way to
wanna
put
hear.
that image. Way to put that image in my fucking head.
I was about to say
that
I want to back this up just a little bit
Yeah.
and point out that Phil, you've opened your shop to us.
Yeah.
You've opened your beer cabinet to us.
Yeah.
You tell us heartfelt about a shitty thing that's happened
Yeah.
that's made shittier by a situation. I'm like, they like to fuck in there, right?
Yeah, they like to fuck in there. That's it.
And then we went on for like a good 3 or 4 minutes about the specific type of action that's
Talk
been
about
happening.
going out with a bang.
Hey.
Well, then starting to joke about the bus driver. Then
Yeah, exactly.
It's our fair game, right? It's all fair game.
Motorcycles.
Yay!
I got to say that is a very heady painkiller.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is a very heady
I
painkiller.
was trying to get ahead of the game before I came
Yeah.
up here.
You missed it.
I was playing around with the guitar. I'm like, I want to be the guy who comes out with the viral coronavirus song.
Oh,
So I'm thinking
So where are we?
My Sharona, except My Corona.
my corona.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
My Corona, get a little cough.
Oh,
Makes
yeah.
you sick.
Well, there was also
my my Corona.
there's also the classic 80s hit that's played at every wedding. Mm-hmm. COVID-19, you should
Yep.
sneeze in your sleeve,
Yep.
wash your hands,
Like
and
it.
quarantine.
Perfect. I love it.
Oh, so
Renee
he's already
said
out with
that
one?
there's going to be a rush of children next year named Corona.
Oh yeah,
because nobody's going to fucking work.
No.
Yeah, the rule is stay home and fuck.
Yeah, except all the kids are off.
except for
3
my
weeks.
work.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, my work's like, oh, your children are home for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's great. We're gonna need you here.
No, it's bring daughter to work day.
Yeah.
All week.
Unless your fever's at least 105, we're gonna need you here.
105.
I sent my guys home. We're like running minimum staff, and like it's me and my one operator, and the other 4 guys are staying home, paid.
Yeah.
And then the next operator comes in,
Yeah.
and then the other guy goes home, and he stays home. And then my chief operator will come in when I leave, and he comes in.
Right on.
And
Yeah,
nobody
just
sees
rotate.
anybody.
No,
You're in the
'Cause I-
shit, baby.
Peggy came home.
Because I
The
can't
shit.
afford to have 6. We only have 6 people.
I pee what
operating
you
the
did there.
plant. So if everybody gets sick at one time,
Yeah.
you're screwed.
You're
Peggy
literal.
came home from the hospital,
Yeah.
took off all of her clothes, put them right in the washing machine.
Right.
Then proceeded to put Purell up her nose, was like rubbing it into her.
I never thought about that.
Grabbed the bottle of Kettle One, poured herself a glass, and was gargling with fucking vodka. I'm like, I don't.
And where were you at that point?
I was just sitting there like, all right, way
In
to
the
go.
corner trying to step it up.
Game on.
He was like, "Can I IV a blue pill? If I stick this up my ass, will it work faster?" Right.
Keister.
Yeah. Again. Jesus Christ.
John tried that trick last year on me at fucking Mid Ohio.
Oh, it didn't work.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work. No, it doesn't work.
It's not what you said at Mid Ohio.
Couldn't get you to stand on your head long enough for the
What did we miss
for the
when we were
tequila
fucking around with the
suppository.
RB50?
A lot.
Oh yeah. Oh, Sleepy was at a whole new level of. Yeah, he was
coffee
there.
last year because your coffee's really good.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
he
weren't
did.
there, man.
Yeah, but more importantly, he drank 9,000 drinks.
Do you think
Yeah.
there's going to be a Mid Ohio this year?
Yes, I do.
Yes, it'll be
I do.
over by
Do you know
then.
why?
Because it's summertime.
Humidity.
Fecal matter.
What?
Fecal matter.
This 2-stroke kills everything.
Fecal matter. Here's why. Because for the past 20 years,
ITH.
for the past 20 years,
Yeah.
Mid Ohio, what people don't realize is if you're in the campsite, what you think is grass. When you think you're standing on dirt, okay? You think that you're standing on dirt.
Sludge?
But we learned something a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
That you pay money. If you need dirt, you have to pay people to bring dirt in.
Well, what
but
I
if
learned
you
a long
want
time
horse
ago-
shit, it's free and they deliver.
Kromke.
The crown.
What I learned a long time ago is the same truck that goes around and sucks out all
Yep.
the shitters
Yep.
comes back around later and
fill in all the
hoses
holes.
down the dusty road.
Dust
right.
control, yep.
Yep.
And everything runs downhill. And
Right.
what's at the bottom of all the hills at Mid Ohio?
Campsite.
The campground.
The campsite.
Bruce's RV.
Yeah. It's actually the Leuven Moto corner. So the Leuven Moto corner is literally, if you stumble at Mid Ohio hard enough, you will end up at the Leuven Moto corner.
Right.
No matter where you started.
Oh.
You could start at the freaking grid, and if you fall down hard enough, you'll end up at the Leuven Moto corner, guaranteed. So fucking cool. Kromke shows up. Good job. I thought you weren't going to be here. Yeah.
To bail out of the show?
Might be the last time we are ever here.
Yeah.
No, it won't.
No.
Well, statistically, somebody.
A huge room full of people, or
Right.
just you guys?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Well,
That's why we're drinking alcohol. They'll
He
kill
made the
everything
worst
anyways.
decision.
Yep, exactly.
That's it. So statistically, one of us is going to be dead in like 4 days, and might take the rest of us down. But fortunately, we're drinking.
I think we're good.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, my shop is fairly certain at this point that of our entire roster, and I'm the oldest person here.
No, you're not.
Yeah, well, no, in my
Well,
shop.
in the shop.
In my shop.
Yeah.
Right. In my shop. Through normal work day, I'm the oldest person here. And they did say like people over 50, whatever. But here's the thing. Renee's like, Phil's a fucking cockroach.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And James goes, that motherfucker leaves a party to drive 2 hours to go to another party, gets shit-faced, leaves that party, drives 2 hours to go back to the other party, and closes that one down, and then
flies
shows up to
somewhere.
work 3
Yeah.
hours
Yeah,
later,
yeah.
normal. And he's like, COVID's not going to take him down.
Yeah,
I was
You're too
thinking-
pickle to die.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I remember you told me one time, like it was a couple of years ago. We did a podcast where it went to like 4 a.m,
Oh, yeah.
and
yeah.
you woke up at 10:47.
Yeah. We opened the shop
And
at
you
11.
peeled your tongue off the carpet.
I
Look
did.
up what you're back then.
I slept on the floor of my office. Yeah.
So the funniest thing when I was riding here was Smedley's had the cones out blocking off the
The parking spot.
Parking spot for bikes. I'm like, there will not be one bike
That is
there today.
extremely optimistic.
And
considering-
Except for yours.
I almost stopped there,
It's
and I
probably-
almost pulled my scooter.
It's probably going to snow tonight, so they did call. There's a chance of snow this evening, and that's tough. I know it's weird, but
Yeah, I've been watching the weather all week. Like,
yeah,
all
I've ridden
around.
I've ridden a bunch of stuff this week.
I did have to I did think about it a lot as far as all of you guys and thinking that you guys are at a higher risk than say Nick or I, and I'm like, you've been in the motorcycle industry long. Like if you've survived the motorcycle industry this long, there is no variant of the flu that will take you down.
No, and my wife's a school principal, so she brings home every
everything.
fucking
Yeah.
thing, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, I got diaper rash one time.
And you've got all the best liquor in the world. And then all the rest, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
Like I think we're probably we're going to have to
I
repopulate
know
the
how to
earth.
make good beer, not just
It's
homebrew.
right.
Scoops
Good
are
beer.
repopulating the earth right here.
No,
Nope.
no, my vasectomy is already halfway through college. Yeah, we're good. Hey, anybody want to hear any feedback from our Patreon subscribers?
Yes.
All right, here we go. First one. The first one is from a guy. I love this guy's name. I don't normally read last names on the air unless you got a really good one.
Oh boy.
Yeah, oh boy. This guy's name is Bob Ogg. OGG.
Yeah.
He's the OGG motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
The bitch.
Oh,
is
you're the OG?
Dude, you the OG?
That's
Dude, I'm the
great.
OGG.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know
The
me.
old double G.
You know me. To the D to the O to the double G. He says, hey, Phil, is there a way to listen to you guys in real time? I enjoy listening to motorcycling and, of course, toilet preferences. So, yes, there is a way to listen to us in real time.
We don't get
Hold on. The address is
$15 a month.
16211.
Yeah.
The address is 16211 Lorraine Avenue. Yep. We start usually about 8 o'clock or so on Friday night.
Don't tell them that.
I do tell them that because that's the
Come on
funny
in.
thing is, okay, the last guy that showed up brought us a case of Natterdays that apparently is bottomless. We've had
Fish in the loaves.
That's how Nick started, right?
exactly. That's how
true.
you
That
showed
is how I
up.
started.
You brought me a beaver pelt.
Yeah.
Right. So for real, 16211 Lorraine Avenue.
Well, how about this?
Yeah.
So how many Patreons do we have?
A few. Yeah.
Like, how many?
Enough. I can't tell at the moment, but
17.
Okay, but is there a number that we can reach that if we reach that number, we will do a live on YouTube?
Never thought about that.
He
but
can't say because the IRS might be listening. And,
Well, that's fine. I mean, yeah, he has to hold the millions of dollars down.
yeah,
that the
clearly.
podcast brings in.
We're at least
But I'm
100
just
air at
saying,
this point. Yeah.
Like, because all these YouTubers and all these people do these things. Like, if I can get 100,000 subscribers, I'll give away a Lexus or whatever.
I'll suck a fishy dick.
Right,
Yeah, exactly.
So what if we did?
Again?
What if we did?
Yeah.
Once we reach this unpronounced number
Right.
on Patreon,
Yeah, we can pronounce it.
You might be able to pronounce it. I can pronounce it.
but I'm just saying, maybe we could do a live on
Right.
YouTube, a podcast.
You're
where
right.
People
That's
can,
not a bad idea.
Yeah,
That's
right.
not a bad idea. I approve of that message.
And run Joe Rogan off the air.
exactly.
Dude, I listened to Joe.
We're like right there. We're like,
I listened to Joe today. I've listened to 3 of his podcasts, but he has 6.5 solid minutes of advertisements before you get to Joe.
and he gets to say fuck, and he's not demonetized, or he is, and he doesn't.
Yeah, I
care.
honestly don't think he gives a shit.
I don't
But
think he
yeah,
does.
but the point being, 6 minutes of advertising. And do you know how much advertising we give you?
Squatoosh.
Not a fuck. That's
Nothing.
right. Squat-touche.
So
As much
fuck
as,
you, Joe
as much
Rogan.
as you're willing to pay for, which up to this point
Exactly.
has been zeroed up.
100% content. All killer, no filler, as they say. Yeah. So yeah, this is it. Yeah.
And everybody
Yeah.
here is giving 100% of themselves.
Clearly.
Nobody's holding back.
Keep it down.
I'd just like to say you can have all of this.
Settle down.
Got him.
And more.
Yeah. So that was. I thought that was a pretty fun note. So yeah, you want to hear it live?
Yeah.
We got a thing. We'll
got
come
a
up with a thing. We'll come up with a thing, or maybe a
When the
contest.
number
or some
when the
sort of thing.
number makes you tingle,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're
yeah,
like,
right.
oh my god, this is great.
Well, I did say that when we got to $1,200, we'd buy a board.
Yeah.
And give you guys some good audio. But we
got
didn't
a
get to
fucking
1,200 yet. So
We're overachievers.
Y'all owe me one. So
We are overachievers
yeah,
at this
I
point.
said when we got to 1,200, we buy proper audio and a board. But due to Sleepy being like,
I'm sorry.
well, I mean, Sleepy's like, I can't work with this.
I can steal one for you.
Sleepy's like, I got to make some shit happen. So that was it. So that's how you do it.
Yep.
Super fun. So our another one is What
did
just
you
as,
say? I'm sorry, did I
Go ahead.
miss the message from
the message was, is there a way to listen to you guys live?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right, that was the thing. And I said,
yes. Now, you guys fucked me all up.
What?
You guys fucked me off.
Fucking painkillers.
He's got a pint glass with ice cubes and just dark black liquid in it.
No, that's that
Stro?
XO Patron.
Patron, yeah. Oh, the coffee Patron.
All I know is
Yeah,
that
the
I
coffee
put a
Patron.
full bottle of $47 rum into the painkillers,
Yeah, you did.
and there's only like 7 of us that
Yeah,
drank
it's gone.
it. So yeah,
It was amazing.
That's no chance.
No, Oscar and I could kill a $300
I got the
bottle
backup
of
plan.
bourbon.
I know.
Yep.
It kind of helped a little bit. But yeah.
I'll have you guys know that this was made with the cheapest 100 proof vodka I could find.
And we thank you for it, Nick.
It was made using
It was amazing.
100%
You could at
sterno.
least use Everclear.
Yep. Everclear, exactly. Yep.
Hey, the $20 whore or $100 whore?
The only difference is how fast she leaves your house.
It's all the horse.
and what she takes with her.
That's right. That's exactly it. Okay.
Either way, they
And
get
what
a
she
headache
leaves
when they see
behind.
me.
I got another good one. I got another good last name for you.
All right, let's have it.
All right. His name is Clinton Fees.
Oh, great.
Fees.
Fees.
Yeah. So
Spelled?
Clinton Fees. Fees.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Clinton, traditional spelling.
Does he work for a bank?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm just asking.
But he is from outside Sturgis, South Dakota. You fuckers are my go-to garage podcast and have made me laugh more times than I can count. And the tech tips and Drubkin shenanigans.
Drumpkin?
That's the way he spelled it.
Yes. Drumpkin.
Drubkin
He spells
shenanigans
it like I say
are
it.
great. He spells it like I say it. That is so fucking beautiful.
We need to get like the CNN, the people that make graphics at CNN for the video, and have like the Hoffert drunk level watch.
I'll do all
Dial
that.
just kind of going in. It's like, oh shit.
Just tell me what you want, dude.
I like it. I'm a
Just
big
tell
fan.
me
It's a
what
picture
you
of that
want.
I'm a huge
Benelli.
fan.
It's a picture of the Benelli tachometer. It just like at like
Drubkin.
12:15.
That's a great idea, dude.
know.
The drunk tachometer on the pocket. That's going to
$20.
happen.
Drunkometer.
Drunkometer.
The drunkometer is going to happen
You need
this
an
week.
old Yamaha tachometer. They just
Oh, yeah.
bounce.
They just bounce anyway. All right, there you go.
I was gonna say the old Honda ones with that pretty green background.
Oh, well.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
That would be
mostly-
very appropriate.
So what was the message?
Thank you, Oscar. I was waiting. I was going to sit here for an hour just waiting for somebody to circle us back.
Fucking
Usually
shenanigans.
McElfresh, but Oscar was on target.
Got him.
All right. Drubkin shenanigans are great. In my garage currently sits a silver, polished 1981 XT500 in a semi-running status that matches the description of the TT discussed a few weeks ago. If Patreon would let me attach a photo, I would. Take that, Patreon. The other thing that made me decide to give you yokels some money was while listening to you guys at work, you were talking about Honda Magna carbs, and without even watching the video, I knew exactly what motion you made when describing the carb rack.
Double scissors.
The scissors.
I like
That's
that.
it. Yep.
It's like a gang sign. It's like the
Exactly.
It's a new gang.
It's the official V4. Right? Yeah, brute force has its own fucking appeal, doesn't it?
Don't be showing those
Yep.
cut-
Dude, man,
Don't be wearing
V4's
those
all the
colors.
way. What do you got? You got a VMAX? Oh, you got a VMAX? Shit, yeah, I got a Magna. Well, fuck you all, dude.
It's like our own little Wu-Tang symbol.
Bitch, bitch, I got a Saber. Wow, you're weird.
What would inline
Yeah.
4 be? Just like
Just like this. Just like this. Just like that. Yeah, just like that.
What about a boxer?
V8. Boxer. Yeah. No, yeah, right. Boxer. Yeah, boxer's just like that. Yeah.
Boxer's like this.
Yeah, boxer's like this. Yeah.
V-twin.
Yeah, exactly. V-twin. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fuck
Guys, you
that.
got to watch the video.
Here we go.
Got the jokes.
It's going downhill fast.
Go to YouTube.
So right on. So that he said, I knew you were talking about Honda Magna carbs without even watching the video. I knew exactly what motion you made when you were describing the carb rack. Anyhow, keep on doing what you're doing, and I love the show. So thank you so much, man.
Nice,
That was extraordinarily cool. We appreciate your feedback. And again, that's the Patreon. So people that are Patreon hotline members, for the $10 a month to keep this shit show on the rails, they get to kind of shoot us information. They get to shoot us ideas and suggestions and shit, or harass me on my fucking phone. They get the phone number, and if you are a Patreon member, you have the phone number and the hotline. People do call. people do, as we all know from Rand, he is available.
We forgot about you, Rand.
Well, he's only available at certain times.
Would anyone like a Rand update?
Yes, please.
Rand update. Rand
Rand Watch 2020.
It's a Rand Watch 2020.
Let me guess. He has coronavirus.
Oh, fuck, dude. I have no idea. We're going to check in on Rand. But that is, I mean, that's the funny thing about the podcast is we get to meet people from time to time, and you get to make friends. So at our trip to Portland, we got to meet all kinds of kooky people that are podcast listeners, which is super fun. And we have people come into the shop from time to time, too, that walk in, and we've kind of left the table here set up. Because we're just trying to save time setting the fucker up all the time. So we've had the table just set up.
And it's winter in Cleveland.
It's winter in Cleveland.
You don't have 900 customers every day.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So people come in and they're like, do you guys do a radio show here? And I'm like, yeah, we totally do a radio show here.
Yeah.
5,000 watts, motherfucker.
Can you see the antenna upstairs?
Exactly. Hold on,
5,000 kilowatts.
Are you from the FCC?
Yeah, don't tell the FCC.
Right, if you're from the FCC, yeah, exactly. No, truly citizens band at this point.
Yeah, we're on the
FRS
hams.
only.
Yeah, it's all good.
But not joking, people come in and they're like, oh, so this week alone, I've had to tell like 12 very normal looking people that we have a podcast. And I do the same thing I've been doing for 9 years. I'm like, yeah, we've got a podcast. Yeah, you probably shouldn't listen to it. We have to admit that it exists. Oh, what's it called? ClevelandMoto.
See the fucking sign outside?
Yeah, it's kind of, we're not very bright. Everything we do is called ClevelandMoto. The podcast channel's ClevelandMoto. Dogs named ClevelandMoto.
Just tell them it's ClevelandMoto Crime Solvers.
Yes, right.
And then we'd get another.
And then we're good.
Yeah.
Right. And more listeners, too.
Right.
Yeah, it's a serial.
We should do a true crime podcast, but just talk about crimes we've committed.
Crimes of carburetors.
Like we do it, like we're doing I'll do the investigative voiceover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then, unbeknownst to any of the other podcast patrons, at 3 a.m. and 7 minutes, a dark, shadowy figure appeared behind the scooter shop. Yeah. Exactly. And you know what? I don't really care about getting feedback from the podcast because we're going to do it anyway. So, if you have left us vile feedback,
Thank you.
Yeah,
it all counts.
It does count.
It gives us a really good laugh.
It does give us a good laugh.
Yeah,
it does. At the moment, I can't seem to pull up Rand's email only because apparently my internet connection has failed momentarily. Boo. Boo hiss.
Rand will be back to you shortly.
Yeah, we will. I promise we'll circle back.
Perhaps his wife has contained him.
Hey, has anyone else noticed the red motorcycle?
Which one?
No,
Beauteous.
Whoa.
Oh, this
I'll
one.
tell you what, I'm going to go sit on it again.
You could go sit on it again. You guys can sit on it all you want. She's mine.
Make sure you like that, wouldn't you?
That's
Make sure you wipe
all
it off when you're done.
You can sit on it all
That's what
you
she said.
want because I've already ridden it.
Oh, it's McElfresh, as I can tell.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy right now. That is a. So how that happened is, okay, let's just tell the story as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Flashback to Easter a couple of years ago.
Okay.
A couple of 3 years ago, Easter, Dingus Day, as we call it in Cleveland.
Dingus Day?
Dingus
I like
Day.
it. Yeah.
So Dingus
absolutely.
Day in Cleveland is the Monday after Easter.
Correct.
Yep.
And how would you describe Dingus Day?
It's like
St. Patty's Day, but completely
Polish
fucked
orgasm.
up. Polish St. Patty's Day.
Polish
Yes,
St.
it is.
Patty's Day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why? Because we have a parade,
Yep.
Yep.
and we also have a patron saint
Of
who is named Krampus.
Krampus. The
Krampus, yeah.
Right, who comes and steals all the evil children.
Kromke.
As they should.
Krampus.
Krampus. Nice.
Now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why you can't lose
It's
the
that
beard.
beard, yeah.
hair.
See, you guys have been wondering.
polka bands.
Did you cut your horns
And
off?
polka bands.
Polka bands.
Polka bands.
Look, I'm not joking. when I-
Babushkas.
It's all a celebration of all things Polish.
It's really
the
good.
fucking Coachella of polka bands.
It is the Coachella of polka bands.
Yep.
If your name is Yankovic, you probably are playing accordion in Cleveland on Dingus Day.
Although he was Slovenian.
He was, yeah.
Oh, hold on.
No, that's true.
On behalf of Slovenian people everywhere, I grew up on the east side of Cleveland.
We grew up not very far
Right.
apart,
We
so-
understand. We know where Dubrovnik Gardens
Yeah.
is, right? So we understand the Serbian-Croatian relationship structure. But yes, you get a pass on Dingus Day. You know, black people are Irish in Cleveland on St. Patty's. It's true.
Although they cancel it this year.
I was going to say, right?
But go vote. Make sure you vote.
But you should vote instead.
Yeah, right.
Right, exactly.
But I want St. Patrick's Day.
We all want St. Patrick's Day, but it'd be better showing up to polls all
You know,
fucking
it's,
green and fucked up,
They
right?
go to the
Yeah.
parade, but everybody's going to go to the bar.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
Duh.
But they're probably going to shut down all the bars next week.
No, they won't.
Wrong.
No.
No, they won't.
No, they won't.
They did in all the other countries.
This is
This is America.
They're not going to.
This is America.
Have you met
God given
Stefan?
right to get
Right.
coronavirus. Spread it to as many people as
Suspend
I
your
want.
liquor license for one day.
Also true.
Ain't going to happen.
It ain't gonna happen. Yep.
Nope.
It ain't gonna fucking happen.
The National Guard's going to come in and park themselves in front of every bar
Well, it is
for
Northeast
about 2
Ohio.
minutes
There is a
before they decide to
precedent.
walk in and get fucked up.
As a
true.
person whose actual name is Turshinsky,
Right.
I'm pretty upset about.
You're pretty upset about this, right?
Yeah.
So the story goes back a couple of years ago on Dingus Day. I went into my shop, as you do, on Monday because I have the day off. Our shop's closed on Monday, and I was getting ready to go out and celebrate myself a good, solid Dingus Day. Nice. I had a whole schedule of places I was going to go. Had a whole schedule of bars I was going to hit. I knew where I was going. I was going to go watch the parade.
You had your dingus
on the
all
near
washed
west
off.
I did freshly polish my dingus that very morning.
I'll bet you any money that
I had my Pussy
coronavirus
Willows.
does not stop Dingus Day.
What's that?
I'll bet you
No.
coronavirus does not stop Dingus Day.
Krampus can't stop Dingus Day, motherfucker. If Krampus can't stop Dingus Day, and Krampus is scary. Like, seriously, Krampus is scary as shit.
Look it up.
Look him up. Right, exactly. So, not joking, I went into the shop, and James had sent me a message. I was at the shop, and I kind of sent James a message, you know, getting ready to do some stuff, whatever. And James said, "Did you see it?" And I said, "Did I see what?"
No.
And he said, "Did you see it? I can't believe you didn't see it."
coke
I was
man?
like, "What the fuck, dude?" And this was when we were at the Lakewood shop.
Yeah.
I turned around, and right there in my very shop, feet from where I was standing, was a Ducati 1000 Sport Classic.
Oh, God.
Okay?
Krampus.
Okay.
No, Ducati 1000 Sport Classic. And a Ducati 1000 Sport Classic is one of my
Put it up
favorite.
here.
I'm going to. I'm working on it. We are having a bit of an internet problem right now, Chris. So cool your fucking jets.
Take it easy.
Turn
All right.
My Wi-Fi hotspot.
That might be what's hurting me right
Settle
now.
the
So
fuck down.
anyway, yeah, chill your fucking jets. Okay. So anyway, the Ducati Sport Classic,
Oh yeah.
okay, is what I like to call sex in the form of a motorcycle. And the Ducati Sport Classic is just a very, very, very pretty motorcycle.
There's nobody on planet Earth that doesn't like the way that bike
And
looks.
I totally agree with you. Yeah. I totally agree with you.
Like people that aren't Ducati people like it.
Right.
People that don't like retro bikes
Yeah.
like it.
But
Yeah.
if I remember correctly,
well,
no matter how nice it looked,
yeah, well, she had a bit of a problem. So the problem with the Ducati Sport Classic, as it stands, what the fuck is wrong with this? So the problem with the Ducati Sport Classic
It's
is
rammed.
it looks so good,
Could be a virus.
but it feels
good is
like
it?
shit. You know,
it looks
Really.
fast standing still.
It looks fast standing still. It looks gorgeous. It's a delight
Like that, Buck.
in
It looks
every
like a
possible
scooter.
way. That is oh my fucking god! We're having a technical difficulty at ClevelandMoto. I have.
Fucking
No, because
blog.
everybody's at home on their internet watching Netflix.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah,
Is that
that's-
really
that's
what
true.
they're watching, though?
Yeah.
No, they're probably watching porn.
Also, probably true.
They're
So-
making coronavirus
Yeah.
porn now.
Does that take more bandwidth?
Yeah.
Also, probably true.
Probably.
The
Street
the
league.
fact that there's a website that actually says living with a Ducati Classic, a Ducati Sport Classic, that gives you an idea of what a bad dog it is to own. Like, if there's special rules, like, so you got a pit bull, right? And that's what it is like owning a Ducati Sport Classic or Ducati Sport 1000. And it has nothing to do with anything except for the beauty of the motorcycle is immediately put off by its horrible fucking ergonomics. And it just looks dead sexy, but you can't fucking sit on the thing for love or money for more than 25 fucking minutes. And it does suck big ass. And we'll put a link into it in the show notes.
Ducati has a little bit of a habit of making bikes like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
That look really nice because you had that red. What was it?
Oh shit! Yeah, the Super Sport.
The
only
Super
person
here
800
who could maybe ride that
Oscar.
bike was Oscar.
Yeah,
Oscar.
And it was so uncomfortable. I mean, it was.
Yeah, for real. I totally agree. Yeah. Steve, go ahead.
I don't really care for the looks of that bike.
Okay.
The Super Sport?
fine.
Or the one,
No, the Ducati.
The Ducati.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? I like Bellas.
Bellas.
A Zundat Bella.
Oh, God.
I like a nice bike with Teutonic lines.
Yeah.
I like it to look like World War II surplus. Does it say Messerschmitt on the side? I'm okay with that.
Can you pull up a photo of a Zundat Bella?
A Zundat Bella?
I don't
Yeah,
think
I'm
I've
sure,
seen
I'm
one
sure I
before.
can. I just don't know if I can shoot it up to the screen.
yeah,
but
that's
I'm going to go and do my goddamn best.
Is it a scooter or a motorcycle?
Oh, it's a scooter with tall wheels.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's one of those mutant hybrid things. Like it's not a scooter and it's not a, it's kind of nothing and everything
I don't
depending
want it to look
on what
fast.
you
I want it to look heavy.
We want this to look substantial.
Yeah.
which is totally fucking true. The
Built like a brick shithouse.
it is, yeah, it's not an attractive bike, but again, a revolver is good. It's reliable. If it doesn't shoot, you can hit him with it.
Strong.
And-
like
Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
What's that?
Beauty is
Yes.
in the eyes of the beholder.
Yeah. And that is true.
I'm willing to humor you on this one because there are
Look at
certain
that
things
shit.
that are so ugly.
Hail
And they're so function. They're so ugly as
You
a
go for
result
Caesar.
of being so functional
Yeah.
that makes them attractive in like a weird way.
No, I agree.
Like that Czechoslovakian bike. What's that one?
Woofy.
Which one? The CZ?
No,
The Cizetta?
No, the scooter that's like 12 feet long.
Oh, there was. Are you talking about the scooter or the motorcycle? The red.
No, it's a scooter with
The
the,
red and
engine
yellow
where
one?
if it blew up, it would take your nuts off.
Oh,
That's
no.
any bike.
All of them.
Sign me up.
And it happens with most of them.
No, the Czechoslovakian scooter, they're always yellow and
Red.
orange. Red. Yellow and red, yellow and orange.
I think that's more of a motorcycle. And that was like the Munchen. No, not the Munch.
No, it was just definitely a scooter. but it was
Rollenheiser
you
Weiser
could fit five
Schleiser here,
people
right,
on it, and
right.
it had
I know what you're talking about.
intermediate gearbox.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't spit out the name of it.
Yeah. And I'm with you with that.
It looks like a carnival ride.
It does look
because
like
it's
a carnival
red
ride.
And,
Check.
And
Yeah.
yellow.
Poor Hoff
It
is
has the
playing
pressed steel wheels. It's
barmaid tonight.
He's winning, but yeah. So
Sorry.
we'll get to that in a second.
Walk away.
yeah, right.
Anytime.
That's not a scooter. That's merit. Here we go. All right.
This is our trip to Italy. Don't know. That's the default mode. So when things go bad here, the trip to Italy shows up on the screen. No,
more booze.
Yeah.
More
Right.
booze.
More booze.
Right. Yeah. Look at that guy. He's photobombing us.
My
Yeah.
God.
That was a German. That was no Italian.
That was truly a German. That was clearly a German. That's Lake
Who's the
Como.
homeless dude with the beard? What the
Fuck you. Yeah.
That's Renee. What the fuck?
What are you doing? Why you talk about my girlfriend that way? God damn it.
That is cool.
Yeah, this is all in the Uffizi Gallery.
Oh, really?
Which is where you'll find Michelangelo's David.
That is very, very cool.
Yeah. I have culture.
Moto Guzzi.
Moto Guzzi. Yeah, the V8. Yeah.
Presto.
Yeah.
Pizza. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
cool.
So that's
You know, my heart goes out to the Italians right now too.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta really.
One for the homies. Here we go.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I hope everything's clears up quickly there.
They
Yeah,
stopped.
right.
They stopped screening healthcare workers because they couldn't afford to send them home. So if you've got the coronavirus and you're dying, tough shit. We still want you to work.
Keep going.
Yeah. Right.
Keep going.
Right. Keep
Time
going.
and a
Don't
half, though.
stop. Yeah.
Holy
son.
shit! This is like the third
Holy
different kind of
fuck.
drink I had tonight.
You are doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pzooe guys coming up.
Oh, yeah. That's it. It's coming up.
And time.
I'm gonna figure out the name of that fucking goddamn ridiculous
Thank you.
antique motorcycle that was yellow. They're all yellow and red, and it was like called the Bowringer or something.
Oh, the 12-foot one?
That it was a very long motorcycle.
That's what she
Yeah.
said.
And it was very much a
Long.
yeah, it was a very long motorcycle. And man, I can't think of the fucking name
It's a
of it.
Motorrad. I think it's German.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Czechoslovakian.
Yeah.
Say
I
Germans.
guarantee you it's Czechoslovakian because I have a list of my favorite ones. I like Nimbuses too.
Oh, really?
Plate steel frame, just flat plate frames from like
Really?
Denmark.
Yeah.
Inline 4 cylinders.
Yeah.
Have a drink.
I'm doing my best to find the fucking thing, but it's a Bromerland. It's a Bomerland.
Bomerland, yeah.
Bomerland. That's right. It's a Bomerland. So yeah. So we'll go ahead and pull a picture up of the Bomerland.
Stupidest name I've ever heard.
Bomerland?
It's actually technically it's Bomerland, right? Because it's an umlaut. Yeah. So it's an umlaut. And
That was Nick DeVito saying
but
the
it was
stupidest name.
it was one of the very first applications of the Ronald McDonald paint scheme, and it's so long that it's standing behind you right now.
Yeah.
The Bomerland, and the Bomerland. He wasn't kidding when he was like, it seats 4 people or 5 people. It really does. It's
That's a family motorcycle.
crazy long fucking motorcycle.
So it's the Boomerland.
1937.
The
Boomerland.
But you're calling that a scooter, Steve.
How many cc's?
It's a motorcycle.
It's a motorcycle, yeah. He defers.
The fact that that's
he
a
defers.
motorcycle.
So it's a 1935.
Steve.
Sorry.
Facts.
I love the fact that
We
you
don't
could have
wanna hear about
gotten.
your
Did
feelings.
Charlie Bowerman ride one?
I like the fact that you could have gotten a Boomerland with a sidecar.
It's kind of the circus train car of
Yeah.
motorcycles.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I love that thing though.
There's a Boomerland with a sidecar on it outside of Dresden. Well, he's 26 kilometers between Dresden and Altenburg, wherever that is.
Can you say that again with more?
Boomerland. Boomerland.
They
It's a
have
Boomerland.
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 In wherever. But
Hast
you
du
can
mein
see, like,
Boomerland
10 of them.
gesehen? Es hat ein großer, langer Boomerang.
Ah, ja.
Meine Boomerland ist gefüllt mit Aalen. That's
So from
my
the pictures I see,
Boomerland
a
is full of eels.
1932 Boomerland 6.
Great.
So it's a 600
600 cc's, yeah.
Dieses ist eine schöne Motorrad.
Du hast ein großer und langer Boomerang.
Sehr groß.
Ich habe nein gesehen, dieser schöne grüne Boomerang.
Ja.
Das is good.
That's good.
Ja, das, would you like to touch my Boomerang?
Ach ja, natürlich.
Danke.
Honestly, in Germany, that would probably get you laid. I think it might.
So cool.
And we
Meine
digress.
Böhmerland ist sehr groß.
Meine Boomerang ist krank und kaputt. Oh, was machst du denn hier?
That's what she
Hast du meine
said.
Boomerang gesehen? Ja, jetzt sind wir gefahren an meine Boomerang. Yes, na?
Bin nicht
Na
gefahren.
klar. Yes. Es hast eine große, ganz
This
Pistone.
is the most
Yeah.
HR they've gotten in like 80 years.
I know. No, like, look at this
exactly-
right here. Look
What?
at this.
What you talking about?
That one right there. Look at that. What is an entire family? on
That is Ronald McDonald's wet dream.
Oh my God.
That is a place for him and 6 small children.
Intermediate
Yeah.
transmission.
Who's the
Wait a
greatest
second.
motorcycle of all?
Intermediate.
An intermediate gearbox to go back to that.
Whose seat is longest?
What's
Whose
the
colors
box
are
on the back?
longest? Boomerland.
Whatever it wants to be.
Luggage.
That's
Well, that's the only.
That thing
Yeah.
is sweet.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
Back to the mother country. Wait a second, it gets better. Okay, so here's my favorite thing.
There's advertisements for
okay.
Lederhosen.
Okay, first of all, die richtige Name,
Those aren't later.
die richtige Name für diese Motorrad ist Bomerland Longtouren.
The right name for this motorcycle.
Ja, ist die Bomerland Longtouren.
It's a long tour.
Ja, mit die Fußskis würde Skilaufen die rechts und links für deinen Fuß.
Funk, ja.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Took it home, but I
Cushman was so jealous of this whole
Das
brand.
ist so geil, man.
Oh, das ist geil. Das ist
die for
hübsch,
one of those.
schön und geil.
It's got like Model A running boards on it.
It's
I
got
love that bike.
everything.
I've never seen.
Did you see the large container on the back for the parachute? Ja, here's für den Fallschirmspringer.
What is the tank on the
I was
back?
gonna say, what the
Yeah.
fuck is that tank
It's
on the
a
back?
JATO rocket.
Well, it looks like it, right?
It's for particularly nasty traffic situations,
bottle
man.
rockets,
Did you see the supercharger there? Look where my finger is. It's the supercharger.
Whoa.
See that? Look at that, dude. It's got a fucking supercharger on it, bitch. Yeah, Kickstarter right there.
Inverted panniers in the top box. That's the keister box.
That is the keister box. So that is exactly it. That's where you keep your keister.
So where the fuck are you supposed to sit?
Anywhere you want, Oscar. I like the fact it's got Ace Clubman bars on it. Look at that thing. It's got fucking Clubman bars.
Got him.
Oh, yay. There we go.
I've always liked the long bench seat. Like
you do like the large bench seat.
Many positions.
Exactly.
You can slide forward. You can slide backwards.
Yeah.
Fuck, you can lay down and put your feet up on the bars on this one.
There is a Kenyan version of this motorcycle. It's called the Manute Bull. No, I'm teasing.
Got him.
It's a very small ball.
It's a unit ball. Yeah. So there you go.
Coronavirus.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody get away from me. Oh my God.
Fuck.
My God, man.
Kill it with alcohol. Come on.
Stop drinking beer. Drink liquor.
Delicious.
Beginning of February when we were.
All right. So then back to our story.
Gentlemen, no side
chatter.
I've been called many things, but gentlemen's never been one.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You know the podcast. Okay, look. One, you know the podcast sucks when they're having their own conversation over there.
Yes.
So,
All right.
yeah. So quality control. So anyway, back to Dingus Day. Remember Dingus Day?
Back to the dingus.
27 minutes.
Wait, but
Right.
this is actually back to how you got the 919.
Yeah, you guys want to hear about that?
Road bike.
Fuck you, I'm leaving.
You can't.
Yeah, I can. You watch me. So I showed up in my shop and there's this motorcycle. You can now see it in living color, right? So this motorcycle is in my shop and I'm like, it's the bike I've wanted for 10 years. I just knew if I waited long enough. No, it was a princely shade of black. It was like that. It looked like a Vincent Black shadow. Yeah. It was very sexy. And I was so excited. And again, it was Monday, so I had the whole day off. So it was a Dingus Day, which means in Cleveland, it's a very light snowfall. Very light.
Now, how did this just show up?
Okay, I'm glad you asked.
It was a Dingus Day miracle.
It was a Dingus Day miracle. Thank you, Nick.
Yes, just like Natter Days, Phil has this luck.
It's important to the story because we always have a couple of used Moto Guzzis around. Right. And Moto Guzzi Grezzo, a Moto Guzzi Grezzo is a motorcycle that is hard to actually define what it is, but it's very sexy.
And you have to say it Grezzo.
Grezzo. Yeah. It's a fucking Grezzo, man, right?
The exhaust is really cool.
It looks like a bike that will kill you.
Yeah. And it's just art. Like Moto Guzzi Grezzo it's just high art. They're beautiful bikes. They handle very well. They're very torquey, and they are also not with which to be fucked. Right? So a Moto Guzzi Grezzo has no ABS. It's got no traction control. It's just a motorcycle. It's a man's motorcycle. And we happened at the time to have a Moto Guzzi Grezzo in our
inventory,
used bike inventory. Arsenal. That was the color you see on the right. And the color for that, the name of that paint scheme is called, I shits thou not, the Black Devil.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right? Right. So that's the Black Devil.
I'll take two.
Moto Guzzi.
This one right here?
No, the big one.
No,
the big one. The big one, right over there, right?
Okay.
So that's the Black Devil. And so the Black Devil, we had the Black Devil in our showroom as a pre-owned bike. And this guy came into our shop and saw the Black Devil and said, hey, I
must have
hey, will you take a trade? And James went, what you got? And he said, I got a Ducati Sport Classic 1000. And James went,
Giddy up, son.
I'm going to hide all emotion on my face because I know that Phil wants one of those so hard. He's just been waiting for the right time because James and I and Renee, we know each other.
Right. We might
he
take
knows
that.
what I want.
Maybe.
And he goes, bring it by.
Yeah.
Worst I can say is no. And so the guy brings it by, and it's got all the fancy Go Fast shit put on it.
Make sure you bring cash with you.
Oh, with it.
Yeah, right.
So here's the first warning sign. Guy shows up with the Ducati Classic 1000, making all the Ducati noises.
Pushing it.
No.
Dry clutch.
Right. And so James pushes out the Grezzo. So he pushes out the Grezzo, and these two Italian bikes, right? 1200cc Italian Grezzo, 12,000cc Ducati. They're sitting there and they're both idling.
Hey,
and you know
what's the matter, you?
Oh, no. Every woman woman in the apartment complex got pregnant. Instantly. There was not a dry set of panties in Lakewood. Nobody knew what happened. Every woman just started migrating towards around the corner.
Steak Griezo's like a northern Italian.
Yeah, it is.
And that Ducati's like a southern Italian.
The Griezo is a blue collar.
Is it a coincidence that Griezo sounds like greaseball a little bit?
Nah, there's a story you guys can look up. If you guys ever get me drunk,
What are you saying?
if you guys ever get me drunk, I'll tell you the story of Griezo, what it means, and where the story comes from, because it's a it's a character.
We got more booze.
I'll get you another drink. Hold on.
We've got
Okay.
plenty of time.
I digress. So the Griezo is the northern Italian blue collar bare knuckle brawler, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Ducati is the guy who's always late to everything because he's having weird sex. Okay. Now,
The bus driver.
yeah, with the bus driver, exactly right. Hey. All right. So
Tube to tube.
so
Got him.
Sorry.
so the dude shows up, and James, of course.
This way? This way. But not this way.
YouTube.
Settle down. Settle down.
Hockey players.
Drunken. So the dude shows up, and James pushed the bike out, and they're going to do the obligatory. What do you do? So this is when dogs smell each other's asses. So this customer shows up. The customer. Are you okay, Steve?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
COVID.
Corona. I have Corona, yeah.
COVID-19.
So does it turn over?
So yeah, dude
He's got
rides it in.
COVID-18, so
Right.
it's okay.
Yeah. One down. I'm always less than
Barely
that.
legal. Corona 18, barely legal. That's,
Yeah.
okay. So James jumps on the Ducati because you got to try it, right?
Right,
You
of course.
We're about to give the guy a value, like dollar value for
Right.
this motorcycle, and this is what we do every single day here at the shop. So James jumps on the fucking Ducati
Okay.
because Ducati.
Why wouldn't you?
Because why wouldn't you?
Right.
How long did it take Oscar to say like yes when I was like Oscar, take this Super Sport 800 for a ride?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, are you
Give me the
German
fucking
now?
keys.
All I heard,
Wait, he just turned German.
all I heard
Yeah, I know. Fuck it. Yeah.
nothing but smoke and clutch. Gone. Right? All right. So they take off, off they fuck down by my shop. And so back, the old shop where we were. So they fuck off down the street. And James makes it like a block or two. And this guy's and they're driving around the neighborhood. And the dude looks over and James is like, hey, man.
Are we cool?
Are we cool? Because I know I love this Griezo. And James is like, boy, Phil would be really happy if I got this Ducati for him.
But I can't let on to this.
But my arms hurt. And
Rocky River just gave you a ticket.
it runs great. Rocky River just cited him. So James brought it back. And James is like, wow, the guy took the world's shortest test ride on this Griezo, which should have been a warning sign.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He doesn't want you to be on his bike.
No. He's ridden his bike.
Oh, yeah.
And the Griezo is better.
Yeah.
So they do the deal. I get the fucking Dingus Day special. I jump on the bike. Like I said, it's Dingus Day, so it's a light snow. I go down. I enjoy the neighborhood. I go visit all my friends on this badass Ducati. But I noticed that at the 30-minute point, parts of my body are rebelling against me. Like there's just parts of my body that are like, fuck you, carpal tunnel, whatever. Like diseases I didn't know I could have. Like I had leprosy in my left hip. And shit just wasn't the way it should be on a motorcycle. And I ride a lot of weird motorcycles.
Right.
And so I park the bike and we go in, we have a couple of Dingus Day beers, we do our thing, the parade happens, you kiss Krampus. It's just a thing, right? And
So it wasn't
Look it up.
stock, so it was fucker?
it was bone stock. It was bone stock
okay.
and a fancy exhaust on it.
Does anybody wonder what Mrs. Krampus looked like?
It's probably pretty hot.
She's probably satisfied. He's evil.
Right,
He knows how to hit that
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
dude.
And he keeps coming home with kids.
He's got
So-
Parkinson's disease.
Yeah.
Tapping that ass.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a movie called Mother Krampus. Krampus, yeah. There's a movie
You
called
ever
Mother
see that one
Krampus.
with that Swedish movie with the weird Santas that live in that mountain?
What?
What the fuck are you talking about?
shit?
Only the Hoff comes up with this shit.
You know, it's called like special delivery, and it's a.
Yeah, I don't think that shit's in Netflix. Just saying.
He was like, I was on Pornhub and I was trying to find
It's not
something.
Pornhub.
Oh, no.
Seriously. It's on Netflix, and it's about this kid who sees these weird, like, Santa Clauses in his window, and these, like, this mountain is filled with these, like, mutant Santa Clauses that eat elk.
He had been abused for years.
So the worst part, Phil just pulled up the Mother Krampus. There's a Mother Krampus 2, motherfucker, right there. The thing, yeah, I know, there's right there. What the fuck?
Type in
That Mother Krampus right there.
Type
the
in
one with
Mother
the blonde
Krampus.
hair,
Oh, the first one? Oh,
Like down on the second level. There.
oh yeah, we're supposed to tap that. Yeah, that's
naughty.
yeah,
Type
yeah,
in,
yeah.
type
naughty.
in Mother Krampus R34.
No, Rule 34. No.
Look over here.
No,
Look
no.
over here. The black Nubian Mother Krampus.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck! I tapped that.
Giddy up, son.
She could take my soul.
Oh, yeah, the middle one?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you,
That
that's
soul's not worth shit.
the one I was saying about. You should watch that movie.
Phil, it's gone downhill.
I had to go 10-100.
No, it's called.
Yeah,
10-100.
Yep,
We're
yep.
starting to beat off over Mother Krampus over here.
100.
Look at
You're
the
literally-
Nubian Mother Krampus.
You're
right
touching
there,
yourself.
Oh, the light one.
Oh, yeah, right. You guys are fucking trouble. So anyway, I go out and do my Krampus Day festivities, as you do in Cleveland. And,
Did you get arrested?
oh, I want to see the courtesan and the cabin boy with Krampus getting my sack. Right there. Okay. That's our new podcast. Whoa.
Giddy up, son.
Krampus getting my sack. The courtesan and the cabin boy.
What the fuck is Elf doing with a Krampus?
Oh, my God. I see Alf on the side, yeah. Okay, so
Expanding
anyway.
his horizons.
Okay, so what happens is I had my dream bike and I went around and I rode it around, and it turns out that after one day of Dingus Day of riding it around, I decided that I really didn't like the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bad. And so went back to the shop.
First date, worst first date.
Worst first date, and took it home and was like, okay, well, now I'm on Lake Road by my house and stuff where I'm familiar, and I'm like, okay, let's just rail on this fucking thing. Let's just like find out if this thing has any redeeming qualities,
Right, like you
because
stole
it clearly didn't feel good. But if it had a motor, if it had 1,000 cc's of 2-valve Ducati goodness, and it would do something awesome, I'd be okay with it. So I do what I do. I come around the corner onto Lake Road and I just cane the living shit out of it. And the front wheel came off the ground like about an inch, right? I mean, like, it was so fucking pathetic. And it was like, fuck you, man. Like,
For a second, maybe.
I got 400s that impressed me better than that. And it just...
Come on, Sleepy.
Steve's just going sick in the fridge. So it really let me down. And, and to people,
Steve, you dropped something over there.
to
Turn-
people
turn
who
around for a
own
second.
these things, and
Turn around for 1 second. Look at that sweet second. Ass. Look at that shit and those fucking suspenders.
The movie's called Rare
overalls.
Exports.
you got to have the coveralls.
Phil, the movie's called Rare
Their
Exports.
movie's called Rare Exports. As though I was going to do something about that this moment. Random information from Grumpy Sewer Guy.
So we got an inch and a half wheelie measured from the bottom.
From the bottom, from the base.
Yeah. From the
Yes.
base.
Just to clarify,
Yes.
Phil, the bike looks great.
Yeah.
It's painful to ride.
Yes,
and is
thank you.
Not fast.
Thank you, Cameron. Jesus fucking
So it's not just the positioning, is the motor.
So I get the bike home. I park the bike in my garage.
It is starfish sex with the woman of your dreams.
Yeah, I basically go and look at the bike, and I sit there and I grab myself a cocktail, and I have a long look at the motorcycle, and I try moving it to different places in my yard,
He's
and I
rocking
try
back and forth right
moving it in
Yeah,
front of
he's like
different
fucking-
vehicles that I own, and I'm like,
Oh my God.
it's like one of those things. It's like stripper beautiful, but you can't get past the brain.
Yeah.
Did Merritt even get to look at it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I even tried to make her ride it. And then she got on the bike, she sat on it, she fired up, and she was like, who the fuck is this built for?
Oh.
Because I was like, look, usually if I ride a bike and I don't like it and she jumps on it, she likes it. She loved the SS 800.
Yes, he did-
She
she did.
thought she loved
She
the
did.
Ducati 800.
I love it too.
She loved my wife and Oscar loved the Ducati 800 SS.
Well, I don't know about Oscar, but your wife's probably missing something that wouldn't hurt.
Oh,
when it fucking
yeah.
that stupid
I
fucking
know.
tank.
Yeah.
So I jumped on it and I had a terrible experience. So now we flash forward 4 years or 5 years. And sitting in my showroom, for you guys know, was a Moto Guzzi Grezzo. A Grezzo. Hey, Grezzo. Hey. But this one is the Rosso Corsa. So this is the Red Racer, not the Black Devil. So we've got this Rosso Corsa.
That bike had such a nice paint job.
Gorgeous.
It was beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. And so this Grezzo is sitting there, and it's a consignment bike. So it's not my bike. I don't own it.
Oh.
But somebody has entrusted me with selling it and has given me a number that I must achieve. And we have many people come in and look at it, but as usual, they're fucking with somebody else's dick. You know?
How does that feel?
It feels pretty bad. It feels pretty bad. It's like, I'd really love to buy that motorcycle, but I'll have to ask my wife.
Fuck you, pussy.
Or I'd really love to.
Steve is such a salesman.
Yeah, I'd really love to buy that motorcycle, but can you get me financing? If you can't get you financing, motherfucker, I can't do any better. Think about that next time you go to buy something. If you can't get you financed, how do you think I'm going to get you financed? Here's the rule.
But dude, Kia offered me 0% financing for 72,000 months if I only put 4,000 miles a year on the car.
Hey, dude, I do not give a fuck. I have learned something about financing.
Yes.
The best place to get financing is at home.
It's from your wife.
Or from your bank that knows you very well.
Or credit union.
Or credit union.
How about
credit union?
You might be an atheist, but you can still go to a church.
Yes.
I get my financing through St. Angela's Credit Union. Fuck, I don't even remember.
They hate your fucking ass
But
over there,
they give excellent fucking rates and everything, and it's all through the church, and there's volunteers. And
all you have to do is show up on Christmas.
Well, it's, but I've done 3 cars through them, and it's been fucking awesome.
And I'm not kidding that the only reason I left high school was an act of fucking Congress.
No.
Like, my GPA in my sophomore year was a 0.546.
Jesus.
Did you know you could do that?
No.
That's called only passing one class, and it's banned. Now, despite that, I'm a member of the Ohio Educational Credit Union. So I'm not a teacher. But the rule is, if you've ever sat in a fucking classroom, right, you get to be in a credit union.
No.
If you sat in a DUI class, you can be in that credit union.
Nice.
Right? If you've listened to my podcast and you learned something, you could be in that credit union.
Why don't we start a credit union?
We kind of did.
Police credit union, pretty easy.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I was a cop at one.
My uncle was a cop.
0%. Why wouldn't you want to start a credit union?
Dude, I'm in the firefighters credit union because I saw a fire. The rules,
and I started it.
Yeah, I had to start it, but again, I had to get in that credit union.
So
go ahead.
You learned something about your friend John, and you learned that you're very smart.
Meaning you?
Because your friend John is having some vodka and stuff here, and he's feeling really good.
Right.
So he went over to your bike, the 919, and wanted to see if the keys were in it.
Yeah.
Because he was envisioning himself starting that fucker up and doing a burnout right here in your shop.
Yeah.
But he found there were no keys in it, so you are a very smart man.
I had a wedding once, and we had 2 scooters in the wedding. Okay? So Dr. Waters and I got married, and we thought that it'd be fun for part of the wedding. We'd have a black scooter done up as a tuxedo.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And a white scooter done up as a bride's dress.
Nice.
Right? So
with tails and everything.
the whole deal.
Yeah.
So we had these black scooter and a white scooter all done right.
What kind of scooters were they?
P200 and a Rally 200.
Nice.
So fucking Vespas, what do you think? They were going to use fucking
Settle down.
or something?
Settle down. Settle down.
It was a P200.
This was also 27 years ago, dude, or how many years ago?
20 years ago.
20 years ago. See,
20 years ago,
I
there
like
were
the
multiple
pause- the
types
pause
of
and the tone.
scooters.
Yeah, there was
Like,
Vespa and Lambretta. That
That's
was
what I'm
all
saying.
that
That's what I'm
existed.
saying.
Sim, personally.
Not 20 years ago. But we had the scooters there, and I had invited 100 some of my friends that are scooter idiots, and so my wife said, So my wife said, "Oh, dude, we had a scooter ice sculpture."
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 3/4 scale.
Nice.
People were sitting on it.
Yeah.
It was cool.
That gotta be cold.
Oh, full of shrimp. Yeah, right.
Full of shrimp.
That's awesome.
There were so many people that had the fires of their crotch put out on the ice. That
Wait,
was,
so people were eating ash shrimp?
Okay.
Steve, come on, Hoff.
And that's Dirty
But-
Sewer Guy.
Yeah, exactly.
All I can think of is this 919 going. Ba, 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 ba,
Well,
ba, ba.
all right. So we did the wedding, but I know my friends, and so my wife is like, "Okay, one thing, don't let this turn into a scooter rally." And I went, I was like,
right.
I was like,
try.
It's already a scooter.
live band that I used to be in, right? Set up the stage for it and the whole deal at a mansion in Mentor, right? The whole thing, and my wedding. So I did all the work,
Right.
and then
You're ready to enjoy your wedding.
I'm wearing like camouflage cutoff pants as usual, sweating my balls off, and getting everything ready for the
what
wedding.
month of this? What is
July.
it? July.
Yeah,
Okay.
July
Kilt?
15th.
Come on.
No, hold on. No, I'm working. I'm building a goddamn stage.
Okay.
Oh,
July 15th. Yeah.
We got married the 14th.
2000.
Touch yourself.
What? Get the fuck out of here, really? Same year? Not 2000.
10 years before.
Oh, okay.
You didn't have scooters or camouflage shorts. So
but
just shut your pie hole.
But here's the silly, stupid
Yeah.
part of the story is they're like, oh, it's not really a scooter rally, it's a wedding.
right.
So we had everybody pose on the scooters to take pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody got to pose on the scooters. So we had pictures of everybody on scooters. And that was great as a little keepsake, memento deal. But then you looked out in the parking lot, and you looked out in the parking lot and it looked like the biggest swap meet you'd ever seen. Because my friends from D.C., and my friends from Chicago, and my friends from Ontario, and my friends from everybody was at the scooter rally wedding,
And
not a
brought
swap meet,
all their shit.
and brought all their shit.
oh no.
So it was.
Well, why not?
It was the hub of the fucking Scooter Underground Railroad. It was right there in Mentor at that moment. And despite my wife's best efforts of being like, let's not have it turn into a scooter rally,
Too late.
it fucking turned into a scooter rally.
As soon as Phil sent, "You are invited,"
Yeah.
it was a scooter rally at that
the
point,
only
dude.
sad part was
Yeah.
that Porco didn't exist.
Porco didn't exist. yet.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a scooter? You ever been to a wedding and 30 minutes into the thing, like nobody's dancing and people are kind of looking around. 30 minutes into this, myself and at least 50% of the patrons were half naked. I made out with Brian Bedell. The first person I ever made out with after I got married is my friend from Chicago, Brian.
Oh my
How
god.
proud he must be.
There were so many pictures taken.
Yes.
It was ridiculous, but
Excellent.
great wedding.
Excellent.
Brilliant wedding. And my
Can't be
mom,
better, actually.
Well, my mom had bought all the liquor.
She broke her hip.
My mom had bought all the liquor by making multiple trips to Canada.
Oh my gosh.
So my mom was literally rum running. So my mom is going up and buying liquor at the duty free and running it back to Cleveland on the reg. So my mom just keekeeps bringing back handles of rye. And so all the Canadians show up, and all my Canadian friends are all like, hey, great weddings. The D-gens from upcountry. So all the D-gens from upcountry show up.
Oh, you.
And their fucking scooter club is called the Gobshites. So you know they're fucking legit.
Gobble, 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 gobble.
So they show up. And Gobshite means you talk smack, right? And so all my friends show up. And the wedding is starting to fade down. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And there's two rules. The first rule is you have to leave the venue. But the second rule is I've booked everybody rooms at the Motel 6. And nobody's going to get arrested because I used to be a police officer in that town, and we've made some arrangements.
Right.
Okay.
So abide by these.
As we're leaving,
rules.
we emptied 2 kegs of POC beer. And as we
Pride
as
of
the people are
Cleveland.
leaving, my mom is handing people handles.
Holy
And a
shit.
handle is
half a gallon.
half a gallon.
Oh shit.
So my mom is handing everybody handles. Because my mom didn't buy anything smaller than a handle in the 6 months that she's been preparing for this wedding by commuting back and forth in her Kia.
So she has 100 handles.
Oh,
of
and she's
something.
giving them away to people.
She's an overachiever.
Yeah.
My mom is a truly mission-focused woman. She raised me. And my friends are now at the Motel 6 drinking out of ice buckets with ice in them. Straight bourbon and straight rye whiskey. Okay.
Woof.
It was so cool. But I had to disable the scooters in the wedding in a way that I knew that not only my friends but me couldn't start them.
Yeah, pull
the plugs. Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Not adequate.
No.
Not adequate.
Fuck all you guys that did that to my mini bike at Mid Ohio a few
Yeah,
years ago.
you're welcome, motherfucker.
Yeah, after you fucking crashed 8 times, why do you think you need a new fucking hip, dickhead?
You're welcome.
So I will give you a challenge. I love I love the fact that John's like, don't worry. I watch you kicking that shit, and you're just kicking it. And John's like, don't worry. We Robertson the shit out of that thing because we had to Robertson James's scooter. At the Mods versus Rockers, and John was like, "It's okay." I gave him a driving test. He figured out how to start it. So he figured out how to start it. You gave him a driving test at the bar.
He wrecked.
He crashed.
He crashed it.
And he left.
You crashed. You didn't pass the test.
He didn't pass the test. And so he stole his own scooter and fucked off just long enough to get beat up by a bunch of Puerto Ricans and have his scooter stolen. He showed up to the rally with the word Timberland on his forehead. I'm not making up one sentence of that.
You are not. He looked like crap.
He had an actual boot print on his face, and he was light one Lambretta.
I was worried about him because he wasn't even like, I thought he had a concussion or something.
Yeah, because he fucking did. Because he took on a gang of Puerto Ricans, and all he lost was
Latin
the scooter.
Knights. Your buddies.
No.
Your buddies.
No,
Puerto Ricans
he's
are not the
Mexican.
same shit.
No. If you'd have taken on a bunch of Mexicans, he'd be fat and happy.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah, it'd be fine. But so I didn't have to disable the fucking scooter. I had to disable the scooters for myself. Now think about that.
Yeah.
You have to sabotage shit so that you can't make it
So
run.
that drunk you from the future can.
Yeah, that's what I had to do.
Couldn't get yourself.
That's like tearing things off and throwing them.
I took flywheels off.
Fuck.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
So I took
You
the
got a flywheel
flywheels.
puller?
What's that?
Of course you did.
I was doing it before the event. The bike showed up to the event with no flywheels on them because I knew that even I couldn't make a fucking flywheel materialize out of nowhere, except for the fact that there was a whole parking lot full of a swap meet happening out there. And I was like, I know where we can find a flywheel so that we can do smoky, flaming burnouts on my wedding, and it'll be the most cool thing ever.
Agreed.
So, yeah. So that's what happens.
Smoky, flamey burnouts on a wedding is really like what you want.
As I like to say, that's a win.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
That's what I want.
Not necessarily what your bride wants.
Right. So we went back to Quail Hollow and had
Bride
sex.
wants.
Yeah. We went back to Quail Hollow and had sex.
Can
And
we
the
go
next
back
day
to
you
the
get up and
beginning
play
of the
golf.
story?
Yeah, we can.
So, did you say you were in a band?
I was.
So what instrument did you play?
I played
Saxophone.
I played the same as Oscar actually.
Saxophone?
I played saxophone.
Wait,
Saxophone.
too.
What? Mm-hmm. That's so
I was in
fucking
a
weird.
Blues Brothers band.
Really?
Nice.
We have two saxophonists?
Three?
We have three saxophonists.
Holy fuckity fucks.
I'm a tenor saxophonist.
Tenor.
I think that Moto
realistically,
band
they're all
would be
the same.
awesome.
Alto.
Yeah.
You posted a video of bass.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Bass sax.
Baritone sax, not
Baritone.
So you
You can't
posted
stand up next to a bass sax.
the Zero thing,
Yeah.
and you used a really heavy like alto sax song,
Yeah.
and I was like, whoa! And I was listening to it, and I was like, sax.
It's a band called Mukapazza.
Yeah.
The song's called Sexy Bull.
Oh, fucking
So
good.
they're really
song,
good.
man.
Yeah,
All right,
they're
get
really
it up
good.
here.
Anyway, I digress. So
Where the
Can you
fuck
play
were
Boat
we?
of Car by They Might Be Giants?
no, I can't.
Weren't we figuring out how Ducati Sport Classic turned into that?
Yes, I'm glad you asked, Cameron. Cameron gets a gold star for the night, by the way. Podcast listeners, that's right. His name is Cameron Vanderhorst. He can be found on HD forums. I like him, love him a lot. Read his shit.
HD Foreskins.
Worst ska band ever.
He also Cameron also wears shiny satin jackets to funerals.
If-
No, I
Besides
don't,
that-
because I can't afford a shiny satin jacket.
And Camaro do-rags.
Sitting in the showroom for way too long is the Moto Guzzi Grezzo in red. And we can't find a buyer for it. And it's not like we're asking too much money. It's just it takes the right buyer. And so this guy shows up and he's like, you know what? I've been in here many times. I've looked at all these bikes. And if you'll take my bike in trade, I think I'm ready to buy that Grezzo. And I went, tell me more. What kind of bike do you have, sir? And he goes, well, nobody wants it. It's a 2007 Honda Hornet.
Oh,
Those are all the right words.
And I
Why
went,
wouldn't you not want it?
because the Hornet is literally the most capable bike in the room for everything, but not amazing at anything. You know? And there it sits.
Except for not dying ever.
Right. And it's a 4-cylinder. It's a CBR motor. It's a 919 cc's with 110 horsepower.
It's got a great line.
And it's stuffed into a CBR 600 frame.
The only bike in here that's got a chance is that FZ08.
Yeah, the FZ08's dead sexy too, right? I mean, they
might have a chance.
Yeah, they're both in that same category of being like perfectly good at being a good motorcycle for a 50-year-old guy that used to be awesome.
That's, you know what that bike is?
Yeah.
That bike is
Beautiful. The Honda version of your bike.
No, besides that, what I was going to say is if something like a let's say like a Fireblade is like a girl that's like a 9 out of 10 supermodel.
Yep.
This is like the 7.5 out of 10 with like a really good credit score.
Oh yeah, and that's exactly right.
Oh my god.
Oh, nut to butt on the Hornet.
Oh my Jesus!
Oh, it's not a party until that happens.
Wow.
John is Randy. John is just a Randy.
John is a Randy dude.
You're never going to be able to sell that bike.
It's
done.
Yeah. It's done. Oh my god.
So Phil, once you replace the rear shock on that bike,
I was just reading the Motorcycle Consumer News review of said motorcycle, and it's funny that during the Motorcycle Consumer News of the motorcycle, they do say the suspension is the weak link, but the brakes are excellent.
yeah, right.
Shut up, Shorzy.
Does Owens make a damper for that bike?
Who gives a
Don't
shit?
double up
Of
on that
course.
thing,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, of course.
Well, no,
So-
as long as you're not 203,
It's not there aren't 3 of you.
bitch on it?
Yeah.
I felt like there was a lot of room on the back seat of that bike.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. No, there wasn't
You had
nearly
plenty
enough.
of pockets right in the cheeks
Yeah.
of the guy in front of you. So it was
Sleepy,
fine.
get the man some ice.
Yeah.
Get the man some ice. So yeah, it's one of those things that
Your
Balls, yeah.
garage.
it definitely is. Now, Cameron, we were joking earlier about like the Yamaha FZ1, your bike,
Yeah, the ZREX
the
1200R.
ZREX 1200R,
T-Rex.
and
This bike.
this bike. Now, the Suzuki, I guess the Bandit 1200.
Yeah,
right?
maybe 1200 would be
Yeah, it would be a good one. And I think that those are probably really, really good
Of course, it's giving
comparisons.
up almost 300 cc's, but
But
Yeah,
is
that's
the
true.
is
That's
the
true.
Bandit fuel injected?
Yeah, eventually.
Okay.
Yeah, that's-
Suzuki's really late with everything.
Yeah, they are. They did eventually get fuel injected. And, they're all in the same kind of thing, about 110 horsepower, give or take. And, yeah, and that's pretty cool. They're,
Yeah, I mean, on my bike, I only get another 10
really
or
think
11
the Honda's a lot
horsepower, I
better.
think, out of almost 300 cc's.
But you're also getting a Honda, which can at least go for $100,000 without doing anything to it.
yeah.
Right.
I think
that's
the
also-
Honda's a lot better.
Well, the thing, though, is I think, like, every bike that's in this class
Yeah.
is, like, a way under-stressed,
It
detuned,
is.
high-end sport bike
Yep.
motor. So I think any bike in this class,
Yeah.
this is, like, a Honda's going to be a Honda, but I think this is the class of bike where Yamaha and Kawasaki act like Honda, too.
No,
I think you're right.
I think the Honda's way better.
But here's well,
Really?
Yeah, you were.
Surprised.
but here's the thing. So this bike in any other country is
That's so fucking funny.
this bike in any other country, especially Europe or England or somewhere like that, is unobtainable.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
they are popular.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the Americans were like, well, it's
They
not
just didn't
fully
get it.
plastic. It's not
Yeah.
this and that. So you can get them for fairly reasonable prices, but
Right.
it's a great fucking bike. It's really a good bike.
Yeah, it's true. And that is the thing for me. I've always had a thing for the Bandits. I've always kind of liked them. I always wanted them. And I went out and rode it the other day when it showed up. And it does what I want it to do. And John's got the big one. So the big one is the biological predecessor to this bike. So it's the
That
CBR
needs to see the light of
1000.
day. And you know,
Yeah.
you say John's got it. It's in my garage.
Yeah,
but
it's your bike.
no money has changed hands.
Oh, so what he's saying is he's got an out.
It's an in limbo type of thing. And I'll be honest, at one
That's your
point,
bike. That's your bike.
I feel bad because
You
at
don't
one
have to feel
point
bad.
that was supposed to be like your 50th birthday present.
No,
I was
no way.
Yeah, I fucked off on that.
Eh, whatever. Dude, I had
Because
a
I
good
know your
50th
dream.
birthday.
Well, Phil's dream for this bike was to make it like a retro fucking thing,
I wanted to
and that
do-
never
yeah.
quite happened. And we had it running, and I know it'll run, and it's just sitting in my garage. And then the move happened, and this and that, and it ended up it's parked in my garage because, well, whenever we moved,
Yeah, the company moved. Yeah,
there were too many bikes.
there were way too many
So it
bikes.
was like,
Yeah,
holy
that's
fuck,
true.
we got to stuff bikes here and
Yeah,
there and shit.
that's true.
So it ended up in my garage, and
Yep.
At one
all
point,
true.
there was a deal where I was going to fix that. I was going to fix this. Well, I didn't fix fucking shit.
Well, life happens.
Life happened.
Yeah, life happens.
I did offload that fucking Shadow.
Right. Yeah.
So that happened.
What kind of bike is this? What are we talking about?
Oh, you don't know about? Oh, you don't know about this bike?
1995.
Oh shit! Yeah.
CB 1000, also known as the big one.
The big one.
Okay.
Oh yeah. If you don't know about this bike, this is one of those machines where Honda just said, "Hey world, fuck you." So you like motorcycles, huh? So you want a CB 1000. So you think you're a tough guy. So you think you like to punch people when they're not looking.
Oh, I know what you're talking
So
about.
this is called the big one. And so Honda made this motorcycle, and they took their big motherfucking giant slab-sided 1,000cc motor.
Basically like a CBR 1000.
It is. It's a CBR 1000, and they put it into the exact bike that you're looking at here is a CBR 919. So the CB 1000 big one was a very, very short production run, 94 to 96 only.
That has a steel frame.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. So it's a really, really amazingly violent motorcycle. And to make the motorcycle look smaller, they put the wheels as 18-inch wheels. So to put the bike into perspective, because when the bike had 17-inch wheels on it, it made the bike look really, really big. So it was one of those things where like you date a girl with really small hands. And that bike is the perfect embodiment of like everything on this motorcycle is unusually
I like that one right
big.
there. Yeah, click on that one right
Which
there.
one?
That one did you have up?
Yeah.
That one there. So you got to delete that little rear fender there.
Right. Yeah.
And then the gas tank is going to get the old school gold Honda swoosh on
Right.
it.
Absolutely.
With the
Gold
medallion,
Honda swoosh.
with the Honda, with
Right.
the
Retro.
Honda retro medallion,
Retro.
with the wings and everything.
Yeah. And I'd purchased a GL
And I've
1000 seat
I've
for
actually
it
been buying parts for it.
because I had wanted to put a gold wing, a first generation KO GL 1000
That'll fit on
flat
that?
bench seat.
No,
No,
it won't.
No, it won't
and
fit.
that's where
Yeah.
this whole thing kind of
The whole project was all
like,
about. I thought we could put a CB750K gas tank on it and
okay.
a GL 1000 seat on it, and then we would end up with a bike that would kind of be the bike that Honda didn't build, which would be an inline 4-cylinder GL.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair
Yeah.
to Honda too,
Right.
during this time period when they were doing this, all these people were like, I'm going to take my Fireblade and all these
Right.
other bikes, I'm going to take all the plastic off and
Yep.
make these fucking Street Fighters.
Right.
And so like all these people
They
were
didn't
like,
take the plastic off. They crashed the
well, they
plastic
crashed
off.
it enough that they had to, right?
It took
They
itself
didn't
off.
take it off.
No, but
it fell over.
But the whole Street Fighter thing was
Yeah.
happening, right? And Honda was like,
Right.
we're gonna embrace this.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
we're gonna make.
And then they
Street
put fur
Fighters.
on it.
No, but here's the thing. So Honda said we're going to embrace the Street Fighter,
Right.
but then all the people that like Street Fighters were like, well, we're not going to take one from Honda that's already
Right.
made.
There's only
right.
one Street Fighter that makes sense, and that's the Triumph Street Triple.
Right. Yeah,
Okay,
and that's
fine.
true. Yeah, right.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, people like this bike is a great bike,
Right.
And people like let it go because it was like Street Fighter from the factory.
Right, from the factory.
Right.
Right. Exactly. And it turns out it's a really nice bike to ride. I went out and rode it, and it does wheelies on command. It does-
Ergonomics are great.
Oh, you mean ergonomics?
Ergonomics, whatever.
Ergonomics, yeah.
What's the MPG on it? 40 something? 40?
Miles per gallon?
Yeah.
I don't even do that.
Who gives a fuck?
I don't know.
I
when,
give a fuck, and it's
liter.
probably
I-
better than my bike.
when it stalls out, I flip the handle and it keeps running. In this case, it's fuel injected.
No,
so,
but I
yeah.
think it's like
true.
I think it's like a 45 mile not per gallon bike or something.
You're talking about the 919.
919.
Right,
Yes,
yeah,
I-
right,
yeah,
right.
right. I-
Not-
Wait,
not the
wait,
big one.
guys,
Go ahead.
what's a Street Fighter? Like, what's the difference between a Street Fighter and just a standard? Because I look at that and that's a standard motorcycle.
It's a sport bike. What had all of its plastics taken off?
Your bike.
somebody crashed
you
Is my
got a-
Bandit-
Yeah, your Bandit 400 is a Street Fighter.
Oh,
Yeah,
The Honda
yeah,
CB1 is kind of a Street
It's a
Fighter
Street
because
Fighter.
it
It's a
never
Street
came
Fighter.
with plastics.
Right. A Street Fighter is basically something
Okay.
that instead of having a square headlight and a bunch of plastics,
Yeah.
it has no plastics and a round headlight.
all right. I don't know
Because
if I like
what happened?
that, but okay.
What happened is the original.
Or you could cut the tail and put it at a 45
Smash
degree
the
angle.
plastics off
And
of
so,
it.
yeah, there's a
Just
lot
took them
of
off
this.
and made it into a.
That's a hard question, to be honest with you.
Interesting.
Because like Street Fighters have gone from like I had a GSXR 750 that I made into a Street Fighter
Because-
that was like a lot of work. And I
All
did all this.
wait a second. All Gixxers are
Right.
Street Fighters.
Yes, they just don't know it yet.
They're all.
As soon as you crash it, it is. Once you lose all the
Like I said
plastic.
the other week, it should be a street fighter. They rip the street, the plastics off, and it's
No, but here's the thing: is the Bandit 400. The only thing it shares with the GSXR 400 is the engine.
Right.
Like it's a totally different.
But I would classify that as a Street Fighter, though. It is 100% Street Fighter.
Okay, interesting.
no, but it had to start out as a sport bike to become a street fighter.
Right, it wasn't.
But the roots of that bike was a sport bike.
Nick,
So
I want you to say, I own a Street Fighter.
Fuck you! I own a Standard.
See, that's what happens.
The
Yeah.
FXS,
Huh?
though.
Would you say you own a naked?
Well, yeah, it's a naked because it doesn't have plastic.
Yeah, so naked's okay. It's not
But if
street
it
fighter.
started
This is
out
like
with
the
plastics,
It
and
didn't
the
start
plastics
out
are
with
gone,
plastic.
it didn't.
No,
Well, then it
well,
is.
what's the
it's the
root
way
of the
it came.
bike? What is the root of that bike?
It's around.
it's a steel trellis frame. The GSXR 400 at the time had an aluminum frame that was just a backbone frame.
So they made a cheaper version,
Right.
which is a
Good.
Street Fighter.
It's not,
not
a street fighter.
Good for you, Nick.
Let's
Stick
vote
up for
here.
yourself.
If a bike started,
What's a Ducati Monster?
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter.
Oh Jesus!
What's stronger?
That doesn't help.
Wait. What's stronger?
Nick retracts
What's
that question.
stronger, an aluminum frame or a steel frame?
Or a retarded monkey.
Wait, what?
What's stronger, an aluminum frame or a steel frame?
I don't know.
No, it just
So
depends
you
on
can
how they
slam
break.
your bike on the ground,
Right.
and it's made out of steel.
I can
Right.
weld that.
You can re-weld it. You can fix it. Aluminum fucking tube steel. Oh, you're fucked.
Aluminium.
can we get back to Rand?
You own a Street Fighter.
Oh Jesus!
Got him.
All right.
No, we couldn't. No, he said he was going to swing back to Rand.
We will swing back to Rand. Give me a second here.
We want Rand.
We can do that. We can do that.
So
We want Rand.
I don't know, but Oscar's been dabbing every
He has
fucking
been
10
dabbing.
minutes.
He's dabbing like a son of a bitch.
Got him.
Yeah. Do you remember when we used to talk about all the bikes that were made in China?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't that adorable?
China.
Johnny Chrome just dogged me
Chinesium.
for owning
I
a
saw that.
China bike. Yeah, today.
Wasn't that adorable?
If they
It was
track
adorable.
down the source of coronavirus in the United States to this shop,
I don't think he dogged you. He said he was very, very happy for you.
No, he
That's
said he
what he
had
said.
no words for me.
I have no words for how happy I am. I have no words for how happy I am
None.
for you.
None.
I have no words. Yeah. So,
And he has an RV 125 by the way.
Oh, yeah.
You.
It's dry.
off his right.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay.
But I applaud your
Right.
move.
Chris Smith is very bad at this.
Never,
Yeah.
man's down,
Yeah.
needs a little money.
Yeah.
How about throwing $250 at him?
I said, hey, do you need ammo?
Right.
I'll take your
I'll
fucking
buy your
RV.
damn bike off. Yeah, I'll give you some ammo. I'll buy some ammo for you.
Buying toilet paper.
Again.
Oh my God.
They don't own bidets.
No,
They don't.
Total
washlet, bitch.
Shit.
Right.
Okay, let's put it out here right now. The
Yeah.
flu does not make you shit.
Right.
the
True
grumpy
that.
sewer guy knows.
Yeah. When shit's gone down. Yeah.
True that.
Okay, this is like
$60 will get you a nice bidet.
Get you a real nice bidet.
Have you noticed an
Shiny
increase
fucking
in
hiney.
toilet paper use?
You will have a very clean
All
butt.
these people were killing each other with toilet paper. Home Depot had 7,000 bidets just
Yeah.
sitting there.
Just sitting there. Yeah.
Fucking
I've never heard of a bidet. It's reusable.
They're amazing.
The joke is always you go to my house, you sit down on the toilet, you can clean your butthole until the little button runs out of hot water. And then when you're done and you have literally expired like 36 ounces of hot water via a super soaker in a rotational pattern against your brown eye, and you're all done, then you press the other button and it blows air on your butthole. And then when it's all done with that, and you've finished brushing your teeth or reading a magazine or whatever you've done, or bought something on eBay like a car, then you can get up and like take one square of toilet paper and just give it like one final like
A pat, yeah.
right?
You should
And
put
so
vodka in that tank.
again, never going to be a fucking issue. At my house, they're like, oh, they ran out of toilet paper. Y'all could have run out of toilet paper 3 years ago. I wouldn't know. I could use a fucking towel.
Yep, an extra,
And I'd be fine.
An extra minute and a half, and you can take care of lipstick turds.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Game on. Yeah. Game on.
Are we allowed to do that?
I don't care. What you
Exactly. Ask the sewer guy. Right.
That's so good.
Ask the sewer guy.
He's like more water,
happy
less
sewer
chemicals and
guy.
paper.
Right.
I'm good.
I'm happy.
foot and try to
Right.
get it to go
Just
down.
don't flush. Just don't flush your fucking tampons.
You're so creative.
If you could just not flush your tampons, he'd be thrilled.
I told my wife,
Hoffer's
you gotta
like-
sit backwards on that fucker.
Hoffer's
Yeah,
like,
right.
flushable wipes
got a
are a
button for that,
lie.
yeah.
They're a lie.
They're a lie.
They are a lie. You know what?
lie.
The only thing that's flushable on the planet is toilet paper.
Right.
Yeah.
And that half of that stuff. is
Half of
not
that doesn't make it.
Can I
Yeah.
ask
If you
one?
buy fancy toilet
You got
paper.
the RV stuff.
Yeah.
Can I
True
ask
that.
one last question about?
Go ahead. The Hornet.
About the flushable
The Hornet.
toilet paper?
The 919?
The Bandit.
The Hornet.
Yeah. So
Down to Dominican.
does either the FC1 or the Bandit 1200 have a hydraulic clutch?
I don't know. Does that?
All of
Does
them
not.
do as
The
far
Bandit
as you
probably
know.
does not.
No, Bandit
CB1.
probably doesn't have a hydraulic clutch. Right. Yeah.
CB1 does?
So how'd you
Does
get
the
that bike,
CB1.
Phil?
Cinch.
Hydraulic clutch.
So long,
I gotta go buy more
dude came in, and that was the story. Is the guy wanted the Grezzo,
I
and when the
really
guy
gotta
said,
get more
"Well, you know,
stories,
only thing I've got is this Bandit. Nobody will give me any money for."
Yeah.
I was like, and he goes, "It's red," and I was like, "Okay, you know, it's red."
919, not
It's
Bandit.
not a Bandit.
Right, no, sorry, Hornet.
Hornet.
They stand with a T.
Hornet. Yeah, exactly. So the guy, when the dude showed up, and he you know, this is a guy we've sold a Zero to. So like we've done business with him before, and so yesterday he showed up and he unloaded the Hornet, and we loaded the Grezzo onto his trailer, and it was one of those things where both people in the deal were extraordinarily happy.
Yeah.
And we were both thrilled. I mean, he was like, "Well, Phil, I hope you enjoy the Hornet, but I think I'm getting the better end of the deal." And I was like, "Well, Bill, I hope you enjoy the Grezzo, but I think I'm getting the better end of the deal." And
That's the kind of
A
transaction-
Grezzo, okay. A Grezzo, though, is a very exhilarating.
now hold on, John. It was a Grezzo and a small pile of cash.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not straight across because, as we were talking about earlier, a Hornet is about $3,000 worth of fun. You know, so it's a proper motorcycle for Chinese
Yeah,
bike
but
prices.
If you're out there on the Hornet and he's out there on the Grezzo,
Right.
don't race him for fucking
No,
pigs.
no.
So wait, we're talking about different people about the
Yeah,
the other
the Ducati guy was a different guy.
and it was like,
but it's funny because it's not that far apart. Like we're getting very close to Dingus Day here.
Yeah.
So I've had Grezzo related deals on Dingus Day 5 years apart.
Interesting. Do you have any Grizzos left?
No,
But
I
here's
do
the,
not.
here's the thing about the Hornet and this bike is that if it had the plastic on it, which is unnecessary,
Right.
it would be $1,500 more just for that.
Wait,
Except
which-
for it wouldn't.
We need to
Because
do
it
a
would
Dingus
still
Day
be-
podcast.
Well, no, but here's the thing. So like
A
most
13-year-old bike,
most
yeah.
That'd be
well,
a
yeah.
CBR 929.
No, but most of the bikes that are this
Monday
age
podcast.
with this thing,
Yeah.
if they're a 900
Dingus Day
RR,
podcast.
they're beat the fuck.
Oh, they're destroyed. Yeah.
Most of the guys
I got
that
3 of them in
bought
the back of the shop
this
with blown up
bike
motors. Yeah.
were guys that were like, I would like to ride to work.
I would like to
I
show you
would
the
like-
original factory exhaust.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
this thing is unmolested,
Yeah.
unfuckted,
Right.
everything. and it's-
Fucked it. Exactly. Right.
Yeah, right.
It's probably never done a in its life.
right.
Later tonight it will, though.
No, it won't. No.
yeah, buddy.
Oh, Phil wrote it.
It's not voting day.
But do you see it?
We'll see what happens
so
on
let me
St.
ask you
Patty's.
this: as a
St.
guy,
Patty's voting day. Oh my God.
Correct.
as a guy who owns a motorcycle
Yeah.
shop, right? Do you see a wave of guys that were like 20 when like sport bikes came out?
Yeah.
and now they're 50.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, have you seen an adjustment of what is cool?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, like this
Absolutely.
bike to me is fucking
Absolutely.
cool now, right?
Absolutely.
But 20 years ago, I'd have been like, "Who the fuck wants this?"
20 years
fucking
ago, you
bike?
were about RC51.
Yeah, or
Right.
900
Right.
RR, or
Exactly.
929, or
And now
whatever.
you're like,
No, I was about CBR 1100 XX
Right.
Blackbird.
Well, yeah, but you were that guy, so that's fine.
I like the Hurricanes.
That's the biggest mistake
Me
I
too.
ever made. Was I could
Yeah.
have bought a 4-year-old Blackbird brand new from Sills
yeah.
Oh,
for like $8,000.
Yeah, but you'll
Yeah.
be able to buy one next year for $2,000.
right.
Yeah.
It's true, it's true.
And you'll have $6,000 to spend on other things like your daughter's education.
Fuck that.
Hey, so politics makes strange bedfellows.
Uh-oh.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Let's hear it, baby.
Motherfuck, you know. You remember there was this country once that went around stabbing flags in other countries? They were like, hey, turn around. You're British.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? The sun never sets on the British Empire. Oh, man. Guess where all Triumphs are being made?
Oh, no.
Not in England.
In the British Empire.
Yeah.
Not even close.
In a castle?
No, not in a class. No, not in Hinckley. So it turns out that yes, in fact, I would like to use the exact quote that I find is great. For
This can't be good.
For the first time in the history of Triumph motorcycles, all volume production models will be built outside of the UK.
Oh, my God.
As the firm confirms its intent to move the last 2 UK-produced models to its Thailand factories.
No.
So
That's not a good look.
No.
that's not a good look.
No, it's not for the way the
How
company
many
brands
9-year-olds
themselves.
does
It's not
Thailand
really-
have?
Apparently, a limitless supply. So,
anybody listening out there,
who's in Thailand?
I'd be happy to spend the rest of my life building fucking motors.
Well, wait. So
Right.
which,
If you want to start domestic production of something in America, I'd be totally into that.
Okay.
so which are the 2 last models?
We can do 200 a
So-
month.
building?
Yeah, there are 2. For the record, for all you guys who own leather jackets
I can
and
do
are
one a
looking
day.
to sew patches on the back of your leather jackets, since you now own a Bonneville, your Bonneville for many, many years has been built in Thailand.
Changed them all.
But we want to make sure, we just want to make sure that you're being correct. If you look up the monitor, you'll see the patch, the flag.
It's still red, white, and blue.
It's still red, white, and blue.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Come on.
it's just a little less of a jack.
I bet you could build a Union Jack out of multiples of these flags.
Oh, there's no doubt you can.
Thailand flags,
Right.
you can get one really good.
Double
Union Jack
scissor
out.
that flag and
Yeah.
it'd be a fucking
That's what I'm thinking.
Reliable than that British-made bike.
Has anybody's ever drawn a Union Jack? It's much easier to draw a Thailand flag.
It is.
There's a picture of a little kid drawing a Thailand.
There
flag,
is.
right?
Look at that. He's a new Bonneville
job.
owner right there. That kid just bought a Bonneville.
I like the one with
Yeah.
the elephant in the middle.
Yep, me too. That's great.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
That's the
What do
ambassador
you get when you
flag.
cross an
Thailand.
elephant and a rhino?
Elephino.
So when I bought my first Triumph in 2011,
Right.
I had already read that most of them were being made in Thailand back then. So this is not like something new.
Oh, it's not new either. We went through the lineup of all the small displacement bikes up there: the Kawasaki's, the Yamaha, the Suzuki's.
Hondas.
There's a whole lot of L's, which is China, and there's a whole lot of M's, which are Indonesia.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's where they're coming from, guys. I mean, if you think that you're avoiding Thailand, you're not. But that's Thailand, dude. If you want to know what it looks like, that's what Thailand looks like. A little flag there with Thailand on it. So there you
Just
go.
got a quart full of red juice.
Thailand.
That's called a Caesar.
Yep. Yay. And so this is like a big deal. The name of the town, if you want to really back your town, because you're a trumpet owner, you're a Triumph owner, it's called Chonburi. So Chonburi, Thailand. That's where your bikes are built.
Sounds English.
Chonburi.
Yeah, sounds like an English.
No, it's not Chonburi.
Aw.
It's Chonburi. Yeah. So anyway, all right, Chonburi. So
Like B-U-R-I, not B-E.
B-U-R-I. Yeah. Go ahead. So anyway, that's the deal with
You
that.
said John Barry in Mexican.
Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, that's hey, all right. They are apparently going to make some motorcycles. They will still be building some motorcycles in Triumph Land, England.
Less than 5,000 a year, didn't they?
Oh, way less. Yeah, they're going to make those gold-plated.
Monster. Or what are those 2,000cc pieces?
Oh, the rocket.
2,000.
Rockets? No, I don't even think those are. Actually, I think the rockets are going to Thailand too, guys. So 2.5 liter.
So what's being made in England?
Give me a second, guys.
I think that's 2,300.
Tweezers.
No, I think it's actually called the TF. Give me a second. I'll pull it up. But there's these Triumph
The
classic.
FYM. that
After my
fuck your
midget, I
mom.
wouldn't hit a whatever.
Say it, Steve. Say it.
Can't say it.
They're calling. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't
TFC,
kick
guys.
in the
TFC.
ass.
TFC. I digress.
What's TFC?
TFC. Triumph.
Fucking care.
No, I had some spare parts for Lucas parts
Right.
in my basement. My wife's been cleaning the entire house.
Oh, no.
So there was a bunch of boxes of Lucas parts. I opened them. They were broken before they were even put on the vehicle.
And so what they're saying is,
solder joints were
according to them, the Triumph Factory Custom. So Triumph Factory Custom, those are the hand-built or bespoke models. Those bikes will still be built in Hinckley. However many of those they're building, which will be less than 6,000 units. So whatever. They're
sad.
Yeah,
Interesting.
they're basically.
I just don't understand why robots in England can't build those same bikes.
That's
as
true,
opposed to
right?
robots.
I get
It's
it.
in Thailand.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that it's just we have to acknowledge that this is happening due to the COVID-19. It's gonna help us understand. You laugh, but
I have a COVID story from work that I want to tell later.
Oh, shit.
in about 120 days, you guys are all going to understand how much of your American-made shit is made with Chinese parts. Because
all
if
of it?
the Chinese people haven't been going to work for the past 60 days,
Your pharmaceuticals are really going to be the one that's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Because they said they're going to shut down pharmaceutical production and sending it to America.
Oh God,
Yeah.
we don't want that.
That's going to go well.
No,
So that's a Joe Rogan had the guy on there. He interviewed a guy who was basically a consultant for the U.S. military, and one of the things that he had said was that one of the things he does is look at the supply chain for the U.S. military.
Right.
And he was looking at drugs and medicine. And he was like, look, we come up with all these fantastic medicines and these antivirals and stuff like that.
Oh.
But guess where they're all produced? China.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah, we have the brain trust, but they're the ones who actually put it in production. And if there was ever a situation where we had hostilities between us and China, we wouldn't be able to get all these medicines. And so he was pushing, and that was part of his job as a consultant for the U.S. military, was to come up with ways for us to domestically produce a lot of our pharmaceuticals.
They need to repatriate creation of pharmaceuticals.
Well, it falls right into my plan with, I want to break, so for years, the Social Security for Medicaid has not been able to bid out.
Right.
There's the largest purchaser.
They're the biggest buyer
of pharmaceuticals and of prescriptions. Well, they're tied. They can't cut their own deal. As the largest purchaser, you should be paying the cheapest amount. But no, they have to pay market rate because the Senate has never voted and allowed them to do that.
Thanks to W. Bush.
Well,
he's the one that
The government itself, I mean, if you're going to socialize anything,
yeah, it's fine.
just let's socialize the medications.
Right.
Let's say the government can produce certain medications because they are critical, like, whatever what is it, this thing that gets stuck if you're...
Cialis.
EpiPens. The government can produce EpiPens. The government can be a provider for certain medications.
Beta blockers and,
something like that.
But guess what other patch you're going to have to sew on the back of your fucking leather jacket, boys?
India?
That's the ugliest patch.
Bajaj!
Yeah.
No. That's right, boys!
Bajaj.
That's right.
Bajaj.
Bajaj!
That is not a good look.
Bajaj! That's right, guys. Victory from the mouth of defeat. Years ago, on this very podcast, we talked about how much hardship Bajaj was under. How much of a hard time Bajaj was having selling bikes, and how their scooter industry was pretty much fucking kaput. Yep. And they were really having a hard goddamn time. Well, you know what? Bajaj has managed to very quietly purchase a little bit of shit that you might like to call
Triumph.
KTM.
Oh, that.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Oh,
There's so many butthurt people.
Oh,
dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
It sounded like Bajaj's.
Bajaj.
I'm just reading Bajaj, which already owns almost half of KTM.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to lord this over like
Bajaj.
KTM and Triumph owners my age. 'Cause
That
those are
hurts.
people I just don't like.
Oh.
Like associating with.
You know what? Yeah. The glass is half full. The glass is half empty, right? It's not. Look, for the first time in a very, very long time, you're going to be able to buy a Triumph 350 or a Triumph 400 or a Triumph 500.
And they're all made in the same factory as the Harley Davidson.
Wait. Because the Harley will be made in
China.
Oh, okay. By the Italians.
Wait, so
at Benelli.
So Bajaj got a piece of Triumph. That's India, and yet they're building it in Thailand?
No. So that's the greatest part of this story. So all of the Triumphs are being built in Thailand.
Yeah.
Except for the new ones, which will be built in India. So because the market, people are identifying that people are interested in smaller motorcycles, or at least they're hoping people are interested in smaller motorcycles, Triumph is going to have a whole bunch of motorcycles built between 350 and 600 cc's, and those are being made in India. Absolutely being made in India.
African twin be made in Thailand.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Because
the mini twin.
The mini twin.
Yeah, the 749 cc.
Because the 790 cc,
90 cc, yeah.
African
twin,
preemie,
Is it
preemie
still
twin?
Is it still a twin?
It is still a twin because they're using our least favorite motor ever.
Okay.
And that is the CTX 700 motor. So they're using it's nearly a diesel.
So it's the same as the NC 700 750.
Yes.
For what it's being used for, that's a crap motor for that bike.
I love that motorcycle. I wanted that motorcycle. I'm like, this might be the first brand new.
Here we go.
Might be the first.
Here we go.
And this goes way back. This goes way back to the Dustin days. So when we were having fucking podcasts out of Dustin's garage, 45 fucking garage.
Yeah.
Some dickhead showed up.
True that.
NC 700. True that.
I'm the dickhead.
And I took it for a ride around the block, and I'm like, the bike I love, sucks a fucking dick.
Yeah. All right.
I had an NC 700. I put 28,000.
Sucks dick.
I said that engine sucks for that Africa twin.
Right, it
No,
does.
it does, but for what it was for, I loved my NC 700. For a commuter, perfect bike.
But for an African twin, it sucks.
I'm going to say it's got every feature I look for in a diesel.
Yep.
A nice low RPM,
Yep.
a decent amount of torque, and good miles per gallon.
6,500 RPM.
65?
Yeah.
Are you out of your
Honda
mind? Yeah.
should ever be incapable of revving to 10,000 RPMs.
Oh no, this thing couldn't fucking do it. If this thing revs to
10,000 RPMs, it ain't a good bike's.
Yeah, well,
when it got to 6,000, it sounded like an asthmatic 90-year-old.
6,000. I'm not joking. I mean, we had the NC 700X, and so I took it out, and I was like, okay, you have to drive it differently. You have to drive it like a Royal Enfield. You have to drive it like a single with a big flywheel.
But it for what it is, it's a great fucking bike.
Okay, you know what? And I said, for what it is, you know,
it's a low RPM bike.
Yeah.
For what it is.
Well, no, wait a minute. Don't you think like a tractor engine would be good for a bike like this?
No, that's my.
Oh, then go buy yourself a fucking Royal Enfield.
The greatest thing ever is a diesel KLR.
No, a Super Tenere 1200 is a fucking tractor.
Right.
It's a tractor. There's nothing exciting about my bike.
There was one piece of this article that was missing.
What?
And it was the proposed weight of this motor.
Exactly. So
It needs to be 400 pounds.
the quote,
It really does.
Phil has an interesting equation for motorcycles.
I do. If it's under 400 cc, if it's under 400 pounds, at 40 horsepower, we'll get the job done, and you'll be totally great. Okay, it's 100 horsepower per liter. So 100 horsepower per liter works great, and also, go ahead.
I like no motorcycle should be over 400, 450 pounds.
That's right, 400.
If it's over
pounds.
400,
Yep.
450 pounds, it doesn't even make the list.
Yep.
Now let's look at the horsepower. The higher
exactly
the
right.
horsepower
Yep.
to the weight is how good it is.
It's all horsepower to weight ratio. Absolutely. So I love this. The basis for the new bikes will be an evolution of the NC series, which includes the NC 750S and an adventure-styled NC 750X. But there will be key changes that split the range and make them more bikey.
The fuck does that even mean?
What the fuck does that mean? So here's the problem: is you just had to say in your British fucking way that we're going to take a motorcycle and make it more motorcycle.
That sounds like the term punk rock.
And that is literally saying, we had built something that had lost its motorcycle roots, and we're going to make it more of a motorcycle now.
So we're going to make it more punk rock.
No, Africa twin.
No, but they're saying 40 cc's is going to make a big difference. between. It's like saying I have a 2-inch deck and a 2 1/4 is going to make a difference.
Exactly.
Measured from the bottom or the top.
Do you think
like 5 inches?
Do you think your Africa Twin is motorcycle-y?
Do you think it's bikey?
Do you think it needs to be more bikey?
Listen,
Okay.
Do you ever wake up and you swing your leg over?
How many bikies is it?
Hold on.
Needs to be more bikey.
Hold on. Let me ask you guys
You
something.
got a dag in the deal.
How many people here have
You know anything
owned,
about caravans?
How many people here have
Bit of a
owned and
bikey.
put at least 20,000 miles on an NC 700?
No.
Negative.
It's
Me and you.
I
right?
couldn't sleep that long.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
But if you
I love
bought,
the NC
I'm
700
narcoleptic.
If you-
for, a commuter.
if you bought the bike for what
good
it,
commuter.
right? If you bought the bike for what it was advertised for, it's a great bike.
Right.
It has a frunk. It has 70 miles a gallon. It's fucking
Has a what?
great.
A frunk. It's
Right.
got a gas
I
tank where your
can't
balls are.
own a bike
It's got
that
a
can't
storage
get
area.
angry.
Hold on, but
That's
once you
exactly
got
right.
used to the thing and
Yep.
you bought it for a touring bike or a fucking a commuter bike, it was great at that
Shift
thing.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
No,
Fucking shift.
There you go. Yep.
but here's the thing.
I mean, I always short shift. So it
Here's
doesn't
the-
really
Your
matter.
wife might like that, but I don't.
No, but that's fine. But if you were going for an Africa Twin, that's not like listen. I'm a guy that put 27,000 miles on that fucking bike, and I would not want that motor in an Africa Twin.
I'd like some white toast with butter, please.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's it.
It's not that.
Yeah.
It's not. If you apply the Africa Twin name to a bike, you're not looking for a commuter that can do 75 miles
Oh, it's
per
an
gallon.
Africa Twin,
I don't wanna hear what
motherfucker.
you have
Yeah,
to fucking
right,
say.
right.
It's the World Rally Championship mentality.
And on top of that, if you're not like
Drop a sock in.
no, but on top of
Be
that,
narrower.
Quit wheeling your
And torquey.
right. But here's the thing: if you're not a Honda aficionado,
Right.
if you're not a Honda guy, that bike is competing with KTM and Yamaha and all the other bikes.
How about
And the problem
Strokey
is
and
they're
RC51?
Matter of fact, I am a Honda guy.
How about reading the next line, which is my favorite fucking line? A new 790cc adventure bike would put Honda right in the middle of the increasingly competitive middleweight adventure bike segment that includes the BMW F800 GS, way more fun to ride, the new Triumph Tiger 900S. That thing's a fucking animal.
Animal.
That seems like it's in a different class.
Wheelie machine for days.
Yeah, right.
The Yamaha T700. Haven't ridden one yet. Don't know.
But it looks great. From
I don't know.
everything we
I
saw.
don't know.
No, you saw it at the thing.
I
It
saw it, but again,
I'll be honest, I like Hondas a lot, but
Okay.
I give Yamaha big props.
right.
I mean,
And the
Yamaha
KTM
is
790
really coming out with some
Adventure, which
good
we weren't
stuff.
able to test because it was broken at the time of the thing. Right.
right.
So, okay.
But why drop your CCs by 200? I mean, it's 200 CCs.
Although the small, now guys, here we go. The marketing department did not approve this statement. MCN did. Although the smaller Africa Twin will likely be down on power compared to the other four, congratulations, you just murdered their chance of selling any of them.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
It will be easier to ride, so that means I can
Why?
fail harder.
Why?
Why?
Because
would
I'm
it be
an
easier to ride?
idiot. Because I'm stupid.
Why will it be easier to? Is it going to be lighter?
No, because it's going to be less powerful. Because you can't wheelie it and fuck up and hurt yourself.
I'm sure you can still wheel it
And better
fuck up
suited
hurt
to
yourself.
people new to the sport.
Why?
So you might as well have made a goddamn 300.
Because fucking noobs.
Right. For fucking noobs.
Fucking
There's
exactly.
no reason in today's
Right.
today's technology,
Yeah.
when you're dealing with a fuel injected bike and everything,
Right.
and you're dealing with an ECU and everything.
Yep. You got
build
it.
the bike
Right.
for maximum fucking horsepower.
Right.
And I
Exactly.
give it fucking 15 settings. Everything from 1 to fucking 11. Well, give it 11 settings.
Right.
It'll go to 11.
It will go
So
to 11.
If you're a new rider, you set it to 1.
Hey guys,
You get a
all,
little better, you set it to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or whatever you want to do.
all the motorcycle companies have brought in submachine guns.
Right.
And Honda has decided to show up with the steak knife.
It's right. That's exactly
No,
right.
you shut
Yeah.
up with
Yep.
a rubber band gun.
Yeah.
Right.
It's totally
Well,
true.
Honda has never been a cow. You know, you look
Cinch.
at the basic differences between Honda and Kawasaki. Honda builds a bike that
Settle
everyone
down.
can like.
Settle
that,
the fuck down
that you
around here.
don't even realize what kind of performance you're getting out of it,
Right.
until you ride something else.
Fuck.
When we did the 300cc
Right.
shootout,
Hell yeah.
you didn't
Absolutely.
realize what you were getting out of the Honda,
Right.
Until you rode something else.
That's
and
right.
You jumped on the Yamaha, and you're like, oh my God, this is a twin-cylinder Yamaha.
Right. It's a totally different
It feels like I'm going fast, but when you actually look at the speedometer,
You're
getting
pussy,
fucked.
you missed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Holy fuck, you almost tore my face off, you motherfucker.
Come on.
The goddamn largest
Bring
fucking
it back in.
rubber gum band. I'm from Pennsylvania, gum band.
Call Rand.
I'm not saying nothing about Kawasaki. You got that gum band in my face. I ain't saying nothing about Kawasaki.
What I was going to say, Phil, is my big beef with that Hornet is that it's not bikey enough. That's somebody that gets paid as much as I do to do the same job I do.
You got it.
I'm going
That's
to take
it.
fucking Christmas eye out.
Oh, no.
Andreas, I'll take your eye out.
Go ahead. Watch this.
Can we go back
Fuck
to Ram
you.
now?
If he eats that fucker completely, Chris Smith is right now eating a whole fucking gum band. Gum band, as pronounced in Pennsylvania.
It's covered in coronavirus.
Don't swallow it. Don't swallow it.
And
I know the cum load's in your mouth, but don't swallow it.
and everybody's had their dick beaters on it. Every single body.
Spit that cum load out.
Have had their dick beaters on it.
That shit.
All right, I'm shooting it next.
You guys are such a
touch the
fucking
shit.
bunch of pussies.
There you go.
For Christ's sake.
There you go.
Sanitizer. I was going to say, it's the time for the Purell cast.
Oh my God.
The Purell cast.
So, Phil, tell us a little bit about this 919 that you just got.
Oh, well, anyway. No, over your shoulder, guys. Who?
Over the shoulder boulder holder.
No,
So
Rand.
lonely.
Rand's back.
I'm watching Star Wars on Saturday night. I hope you guys are having a good night.
Call Rand.
Oh, Rand is holy.
Call Rand. Call Rand.
He's a Star Wars nerd.
Oh, yeah.
God damn.
I'm not joking one bit when I tell you guys that
You guys are having a
Rand-
good night.
okay.
Oh my God.
Get your straw on,
Here we
Rand.
go. Are you ready? Are you guys ready for the Rand update? Rand update.
150% Rand.
Got him.
Bobber Rand. All right, so here we go.
Rand.
Robber Rand. Okay, here we go. Stop.
Cut these fuckers off.
It's like working with a fucking Muppets.
I know.
Jesus Christ. All right. Hi, Phil.
Stop that shit.
Hi, Rand.
Hi, Rand.
Call Rand.
I'm sorry I wasn't in the whirlwind that you had hoped for. I tried to tell you this beforehand. This is, as we know from our follow-up from our
Seattle.
trip to Portland. I said you would think I was a tool in person. You were not a tool in person.
Nope.
You were not. That was it. That was it. It just nobody can keep up with the fucking mayhem machine that is Phil and John
And the missus.
Unleashed and the Misfits.
Yeah.
Yep. And all the weed that Bagel could buy. Yep. Game on.
Wait, weed?
It's legal there.
Settle down.
Shit.
I bought a pack
Top
of it.
shelf, $100
Top
a
shelf,
fucking
100
ounce.
ounce.
Covered,
Yeah,
dude.
that's it, man.
Been there.
All right.
I got.
And you're from your report on me from the show, I think I nailed it. Talking about yourself in the third person. That said, I really wanted to have a good time with you guys, but the logistics didn't work out. Never does. Never does.
Hashtag wife.
Let me know, but I would still like to talk to you guys when I'm having a good time.
I would
think
tell you, Rand, the biggest mistake you made was not introducing me to your wife.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. John is the wife whisperer.
Because I could have smoothed a lot of shit over.
And it's one of those things where either the ladies are instantly enthralled by John, or they're like, I got off easy. I could have married this fucker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. There's no bad to John.
totally
There's
repulsed.
nothing
You
bad.
know what? My
It's going to
husband,
go good for you either way.
my husband is actually not so bad in
He's a
comparison.
solid human being.
Solid human being,
Yeah.
exactly.
That guy's so much
Right.
better.
Let me know, but I'd still like to talk with you guys when I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
I think that you know what that means.
Mid Ohio.
Big win.
Yeah, buddy.
Call Rand.
Rand, I was having a good
ass
time
back.
with you.
Rand.
I like
Call
watching
Rand.
the races.
Or would you like me to read?
Rand.
Or would you like me to read a little more? Okay, all right. Wow, I tell you, man, I've not had to use.
No!
I have the coronavirus.
All right.
He's got the AIDS rubber band.
Just realized I touched
all right,
over there.
Oh, God
Throwing
damn
that
it,
used rubber at
motherfuckers.
people.
It used to be
Fuck
HIV.
out over there, baby.
Is Corona the new HIV? Okay.
No. You'll be fine.
I've lived through 3 of those scares, so we're fine, dude.
I've heard that a number of times.
2 hours and 12 minutes.
Oh, don't touch
Call Rand.
Oh, no.
All right.
Fuck's sake.
I was going to buy that bike.
Red. All right, red.
All right. John, how's your daughter doing? I loved how angry she looked at her leg. To clarify, it was her arm.
Okay.
Piper broke her arm.
Come on.
Her wrist, right?
Broke her wrist? Wow.
Did you post pictures?
How did you know that?
We talked about it.
Yeah.
And you showed your picture. You showed your picture of your daughter with the broken wrist and
She's
her.
fine. There's a video of it getting cut off. I could post that if you want.
Wait. Her wrist?
The cast.
Oh,
Her arm.
What?
No, the cast.
Cast. You know,
Worst Piper ever.
No, it's pretty awesome. She was
There's
laughing
no
while she was
motorcycle
getting cut off.
content in this podcast.
And I tell you
at
what,
all.
the chick that was cutting the cast
Shit,
off,
right?
muy fucable.
Oh, really? All right, there you go. Here's that.
How did she break her wrist?
She's an excellent skier, but she tried to snow fucking board.
Oh, no.
Fucking snowboarders.
Yeah,
No,
I was while I was away in Port fucking Landia. Some fucking intergens, whatever.
Fucking upcountry degens.
Some fucking degens tried to make her fucking snowboard.
From Quebec.
These fucking hold numbers, motherfucker, came down.
Quebec.
These
Yeah.
motherfucking.
Made her fucking
Canadians.
snowboard. Next
Hockey
thing you
players.
know,
Right.
she's got a fucking fracture.
Yep.
Fucking crushed wrist.
Call
Yep.
Rand.
There you
Call
go.
Rand.
Bullshit.
Oh,
skis.
Rand.
All right. So basically, I don't even know what happened, but there was a time tunnel that happened at apparently 3:31 a.m. But at 3:31 a.m. he said, "Fuck. Really? Is that when vintage days are?"
Bring
That's
it.
how it went. I'm not joking, guys. I'm not like just figured out.
Hey,
Rand, you big fucking Sasquatch puts.
Sasquatch.
You better get your fucking dick,
Sasquatch.
your
his
dick in the
ass on
dirt
the
fucking ass at the
now.
fucking vintage
Come on,
days.
Jesus
I'm telling you,
Christ.
man.
I can't wait to fucking leg wrestle you. You fucking pussed out on it. I mean, like, I got people who are like, "Did you leg wrestle the motherfucker?" I'm like, he's kind of fucking candy ass. I don't think you could take it, but whatever.
Yeah. Got him.
I remember the last time we were hanging out, we were talking a lot of shit.
Rand looked like Mr.
Oh, shit. Call Rand. Call Rand.
Rand looked like Mr. Clean that hadn't done a job in about 4 days.
Yeah, if you're gonna be Mr. Clean, shave your fucking dickhead.
Oh,
No, because he had like a
shit. Smack, son.
Answer, Rand.
Your call has been
Call us back.
There's voicemail. There's voicemail.
3.
Wait, hey, we can't let you guys hear that.
Be nice.
It's fine, it's fine, it's
Can't
fine.
listen to that. All right, you're
To tell him, please record your message.
Fuck Rand.
When you finish recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Oh, Rand, we missed you.
Call us back.
Answer the phone.
Call us back.
Come on, answer the phone. All right.
Dickhead.
One more time for prosperity's sake.
I promise you, though, my man Rand, I did enjoy spending some time with you in Portland.
Yeah.
And if you do somehow find your way to Mid Ohio or something like that,
Oh, we'll take
we'll
care
host
of
you very well,
yeah.
and I promise
Absolutely.
you'll have a really good time.
If you can't hook up,
And we
John
are
will
gonna
jerk
fucking,
you off.
we are gonna fucking,
You do know that
We-
leg wrestle was code, right?
we are going. No, it's
Yeah,
not
you got me with
code.
that.
It's fucking literal. We're literally gonna leg wrestle in the fucking deepest swamp of.
Did you say we're gonna wrestle in the dick ass swamp?
We are. You and I are gonna pants off fucking leg wrestle in the deepest fucking hole in Mid Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just a little bit of advice about the leg wrestling.
I used to, go ahead.
He got me with that one.
Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on you.
Yeah. See, I used to watch the Beverly Hillbillies, and
shame on me.
After the fourth time.
After the fourth time, I thought.
Pants off, dance off, motherfucker.
Yeah. I used to watch the Beverly Hillbillies, and leg wrestling was a convenient euphemism for any time Jethro would want to be getting dark and squirrely in a girl's under.
I assure you, I was fucking ready for it.
Yeah, well, clearly.
Yeah, you were.
Clearly. I'm going to say after meeting Rand, I'm fairly confident in saying this is a very good Clash of the Titans. Yeah, this is one of those Andre the Giant, Jake the Snake, fucking legit meetups. Yeah.
Whoever finishes first wins.
Hey.
They don't call me Johnny Comes Lately. They call me Johnny Comes Too Soon.
That's it. So yeah, dude, that's about it. I don't think we can do any better with that.
Why do you have dudes doing each other on the
Because
There's
it
straight up
turns out
hardcore gay pornography on your screen.
It turns out when you type leg wrestling into Google, this is what comes up.
Which there's nothing wrong with any of that.
Not if you're into that. Like, nothing wrong with that. If that's what you're into, you're good. I have no problem if that's what you're into.
Right.
I need to do some practice for you guys. I'm all going to need a little practice time with each of you.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them. He keeps scrolling right on past them.
What the fuck is that one?
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I'm just letting you know that when it comes down to just
is it the same as scissoring? I mean,
I'd
be right.
It's the boy version of scissoring. I'm pretty sure.
V4.
Right?
Yeah.
V4 leg lock. Yeah, you got to have the V4 leg lock.
Come on, Rand. Call us
that's
back.
the game.
Rand.
Yeah, we give him a little bit of time there.
Call Rand. Call Rand.
All right, here we go. You ready to go again? Okay,
One more time.
Got him.
Once more into the breach.
So wait, hold on. So it's 10 here, which is 7-11.
7 there. Yeah. It's not He's actually probably still eating dinner.
Okay.
Hey, fuck him. He's and his dinner.
He probably looked at his phone 2.5 minutes ago and went,
Oh, shit.
well,
I have my wife strapped on like a feed bag. So
It's a 7.
well, most humans at 7 p.m. on a Friday are having dinner with their family.
No, not me. I'm away here.
10 o'clock.
Most people that don't have a bad circle of friends.
Right.
Most people that aren't like, get your ass to the podcast post haste after work.
Post-haste.
But not, in Rand's defense, I wouldn't call us.
No.
I wouldn't answer the phone.
I wouldn't call us either.
I wouldn't answer the phone.
But he asked for this. He asked for it by responding to things.
Again, this is one of those
trying
things.
to provide the service that he paid for on Patreon.
Help
me, help you.
Yeah, right.
Rand.
If you sign up for this, you expect this.
I've never stalked a girl, but I don't know. I want to know what it feels like to be the girl.
No.
Right? Yeah.
What?
I've never stalked a girl. I haven't stalked a girl. I won merit fair and swear. I intimidated her boyfriend.
He spent 3 years at the Penn and Teller School of How to Win a Lady, but besides that,
Exactly.
he did fine. All right.
Hey, look, hypnosis is not real.
No.
It's not real. 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 Yeah. There you go. So there you go.
The only girl I stalk. My girl that I stalk is Yolandi.
That's leg wrestling.
Yolandi Visser.
Yolandi.
Oh, yeah.
Yolandi Visser.
Diane to it.
Everybody wants
I
to be a
take all the
gangster
Yolandi Visser I
until
can
it's
get.
time to do gangster
How
shit.
many loads did you lose watching fucking Chappie?
Easy.
Chappie.
Were did you mix a batch the entire goddamn?
Yeah, dude. There's many
so bad. And motorcycles.
Yolandi Visser, man. It's like, fuck.
That's leg wrestling, boys. That's leg wrestling. That's leg wrestling. Got a couple of Sammys.
I'm going to throw out there, I think really it wouldn't be appropriate without some olive oil or something like
some
that.
leg wrestling.
All right.
I think I saw Andre the Giant.
I'm sure you did see Andre the Giant. I'm certain you saw Andre the
Also,
Giant.
I'm willing to leg wrestle midgets of either sex.
And you know what? And quantities more than 2 are okay, right? Illegal tap-ins are totally authorized. Yeah, it's good to go. That's fine.
Not sure, Dick. Yes.
There you go. That's fine. So I think that's it. I don't think we need to give.
That's it.
I think 2 hours and 30 minutes is probably just about.
We've
perfect.
run out of shit to say.
And booze.
Right. And honestly, if we have to put people through this every week,
God love
Wait,
them.
hold on. Before we go.
Motorcycle content.
Easy squirrely,
The
Dan.
fuck up.
if that's all there is.
So the how do you say it? The Vesplulen or whatever the
Would you just stop?
Husqvarna came out with what? The Vesplulen.
No, wait. I'm gonna let you just bury yourself in this shit.
Wait.
Try again.
No, I think we were trying to talk about it. The Husqvarna 400 that just came out.
No, they came out with the 250.
What are you,
They
Swedish
brought them
chef?
down to 250, man.
50
Yeah,
It's
because
spooling up. And
what is it called? What is it?
Oh no, I'm gonna let you work with this one.
the Husker fucking Doosker.
I wouldn't want to get in the way of this at all. No, not me.
The Vesplulen who have been very popular, the 701 and also the 4 something.
Cinch has been drinking.
The Vesplulen. The Vesplulen.
The V-Peeling or the Svartpeeling?
The Farspelen. Whatever that fucking thing is. The
Cam just made something up, and Cinch agreed to it.
Oh, the Vitpylon.
The
The
V-Peeling.
Vitpillen? What is it?
Pylon?
The Vitpylon.
Pylon.
They're bringing out
Which means a good
250.
peeling it out.
What are they calling the 250?
They're calling it the fucking Vitpillen fucking fuck you. It's
No,
the 250.
701.
That's what
Now,
they're
all right. Settle down.
What? Did you say Finny?
The 250.
The Vitpylon.
The 250.
Yeah, it turns out 250 in Swedish is 250.
But no, they're bringing out, so smaller displacement bikes are becoming popular again, and they're bringing out.
I've heard that. Yeah.
701.
I see Vitpylon 701.
No, that's what Phil entered into the search engine, my
It's
friend.
V-Peeling, and then the 401 is the Svartpeeling.
There's the 250
It's not that
version of
difficult.
it?
If you bought furniture at IKEA, you can pronounce the
Say
name of a Husqvarna motorcycle.
Sharksville.
I've never bought furniture from IKEA.
What?
Okay, all right.
My wife's have. My wife's have, but I
My
haven't.
wife's ass.
Oh.
Bring on the Flugenschnagen. That's what.
Bring on the Flugelmaschinen. Bring on the Flugelmaschinen.
Bring on the
No, but they're bringing out. Fuck all you guys. Fuck you and 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 you.
No, fuck you.
They're all bringing out 250cc fucking motorcycles.
What kind of motorcycle is this?
Is it? What company is it from?
It's from Vic Snoggleslingen.
What does KTM even stand for?
Oh, that's an excellent question.
That's a good one.
Oh, don't do that. No.
What kind of fucking porn are you watching over there?
I love it. I love it.
I'm just saying.
Wait.
right.
So what does KTM stand for?
No, that's a
good
legitimate question.
It's three guys' names: K to fucking K and T and M.
Well, no.
I don't believe
it's
you.
Actually, it's very German. I just read this.
Welcome to the Germans.
Read something.
Believe me, I cannot
Germans.
pronounce
King John,
Gated.
motherfuckers.
But it's like kommende Schnote, Tonde, fucking Mutterratten.
It's just been following
Yes.
for
But I did just look this up, what KTM stood for. And I can tell you what KTM stands for is being a fucking man and getting a lot of pussy. That's most motorcycle brands stand for.
Until it overheats.
You guys are fucking trouble here, baby.
As Johann gesagt, KTM ist Kraft.
Going downhill fast.
Kraftfahrzeug, Trunkenputz,
call me?
Mattighofen. So
Okay.
Kraftfahrzeug, Trunkenputz,
You're a crap.
Mattighofen.
The last one sounds like what? No, are those all names?
Queef. I had Queef, and to me, that
I've got
that
Queef.
relates
It's
to
a
Quim.
QTM now.
pronounce
There
it
you guys go. There you go. All right, we're gonna say it all together. We're all gonna say it at the same time. We're all gonna do it once, just for the cheap seats. There you go. Kraftfahrzeug.
The Krankenhall.
Krankenhof Trunkenputz Mattighofen. Which means
is
the hospital is the is the Trunk Monkey and the Matterhorn.
As I said, it was three guys' fucking names, and that's what it is.
That's exactly right.
Right.
Yay!
3 motorcycles per day.
That being said, Husqvarna is building 250 versions of their fucking Vitz and Snuggles. Whatever the fuck.
Whoa. He started out selling DKW motors. What does DKW stand for?
It's the noise that makes you when you step on a duck.
Spitz assholes.
Yeah, that's what it is. So there's the history of KTM.
Husqvarna's on the Spitz assholes.
But just to give Steve a small rescue, the bike Steve is talking about is not the Schmartpillion. It is the Schwarzpillion, which is slightly different than the Schartpillion, which is what happens when you're not quite sure.
But the whole point of this is that
the Schartpillion?
Small CC bikes are becoming back in favor.
Especially if your girlfriend's on the back.
It's all shits and giggles.
She's not exactly sure if it's safe. You could have a Schartpillion.
If you're German and your girlfriend
We just lost Nick. We just broke Nick. Nick is actually broken. Oh, ride fast and take chances. Ba, 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 ba,